There you go. There's it. But yes, you can support the channel if you'd like down below with tips, but we do prefer the charity thing. You can support the actual runner, like the actual organizers and the channel itself. We do want to buy a couple things, and maybe I don't know if there's ways that we can prevent the whole if there's money I can throw at preventing the thin from doing the 502 thin. But stuff like technical stuff that can improve the marathon by a lot does make a difference. Yes, my kitty is very cute. He stopped kneading. I was unable to get a picture. Frosty knows what my cat looks like when kneading. He likes to use his back paws to knead. It's very cute. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in the runners. The runner and
Where I have mine.
hello everyone, this is Zell, and we have daspharaoh here for Pokemon Coliseum, and the two commentators, Lotus Queen and Evancia. Sorry, I probably mispronounced that one, but take it from here.
Alright, welcome everybody. I'm Pharaoh. You can see I have a knight and a Lagia. Support as well as my two wonderful commentators, Evanicia and Lotus Queen. The run starts with a frame perfect manip like any self-respecting Gen 3 game, except for XD. PAL XD, but that's gonna be a story for another time. Yes, you're listening to a bird. I have a very loud bird. I also have a very loud dog. So if you have birds and dogs emotes, please feel free to spam them at will. So yeah, are you two ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright. Countdown in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so Pharaoh is going to be setting up a frame perfect trick here, the manip that we use in this game that she's been working on way before this. So you don't see the actual setup of the trick in the VOD here, but pretty much what you do is that you advance the RNG to a certain state that you find out by going back and forth in the battle now menu in the game. And once you've found out what state you are, you can reroll to a certain state where you have an Espeon that exists that matches the IV and nature requirements that we have preset before even starting up the game. And what she's just attempted that trick right now, and we'll see how that works out. But hopefully she gets it, even though it's a frame perfect trick. And there's also another big RNG factor down the line here. So even if she does get the manip, we're not even guaranteed to be on a run. She does have a backup though, so it doesn't matter that much, but it would be cool to actually hit the manip, because I don't believe anyone has hit the manip in either this game or XD at a marathon before, and also gotten a runnable secondary.
Wow.
So yeah.
I had no idea. So yeah, the Espeon requirements, we wanted to have always 30 special attack and at least 27 speed. And that guarantees a high base power hidden power grass. And then we also want, for this particular case, we also wanted to have good HP and good defense for a fight much later on. The Espeon I tried to manip now is a Rash, so it has less special defense and more special attack. All of the natures we go for the Espeon always increase special attack over anything else but speed. We cannot sacrifice speed. And we also always want hidden power grass because our main teammate for this run is going to be a Quilava. So grass plus fire plus psychic is very good coverage.
Yep. So also you will see something that in this run already that is different from other Pokemon runs. It's that we don't name the character A, and that's not because it doesn't save time, because it would save time to name the character A. But the manip actually doesn't allow you to name your character A because the RNG randomly advances by 5 frames in either direction when you go into the naming screen and name your character A. So we have to stick with the shortest name, which is Wes, in this game, unfortunately. So we lose out on those frames.
I like Wes, it's a good name.
It is a good name.
It is.
So yeah, fight number 1. I'm going to taunt with Umbreon. I'm also going to check right now if I got the manip. I didn't. I missed it by a frame late.
Oh, classic.
Typical.
So yeah, we open with Taunt. These Zigzagoons can tackle or Tail Whip. If they choose Tail Whip... Oh! Good special attack. 9. That's special attack on the Espeon. This is gonna be fun.
It's
Great.
fine.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter that much since we didn't get the manip anyways, but yeah. With the manip, you guarantee all these 3 early game ranges. They're gonna be on a couple of different pokes here. Unfortunately...
This just means Umbreon gets to help more.
Yeah, we get to see more of Umbreon, because we get to stay in battles longer. You did kill that one, though. These are very favorable ranges, even on mediocre special attack, so always funny when you get the bad one.
Yeah, the one I'm using now is a quirky. We were supposed to have 30 special attack and plus nature, and this one has 9 special attack.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this would just be unrunnable no matter what. Especially like the special attack, maybe you can patch that with a few more X specials, but the hidden power grass is just not negotiable.
Oh yeah, I know. Before Manip, the requirements were still super strict for Espeon. There weren't any hidden power requirements. I believe you would run some hidden powers if you like found out what they were, but in general there were no hidden power requirements. So you would just take a really high special attack and decent speed Espeons. It was still pretty reset heavy, and it still is today. So in that regard, the Manip hasn't really changed that much. In general, it's gotten a lot better with the Manip just because of the consistency that it provides.
Maybe I'm just going to bite to make sure that the first Wishmer dies.
You should probably just Fusion the Wishmare. Actually, because in Confusion Taunt, because the Wishmare is the best range of them.
Oh, okay.
It's very likely to die.
Yeah, this is the same idea as the Zigzagoons. They only have 2 attacks. They have Pound and Howl, and if they do Howl over a taunt, we just save time on animations. The real big issue with this game and the sequel is you cannot turn off animation, so most of the time in this run just comes from having to watch all of these, so any animation that we can cut is very, very beneficial.
Yeah, basically everything in this game is routed around skipping as many animations as possible, which is also why having to see extra animations that aren't routed around becomes extra costly in terms of time save and time loss. So whenever you get to skip an animation, it's huge compared to normal Pokemon games where you can actually just turn off the animations. So
you get extra turns on a normal Pokemon game. Things might get wonky, but it's not that much of a time loss. You get extra turns on this game and it can become a nightmare.
Yeah, it can become a nightmare very fast, especially if it's 2 extra turns. Then it's almost like, oh yeah, I should reset this run. Just because it's such a heavy time loss sometimes. Especially if the animations are slow, like Leech Seed.
Yeah.
Which we'll be seeing later on in this run. Maybe.
We're about to encounter the worst part of this run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had to deal with that, but marathon luck, could be the first.
Also, I'm not sure I'm not sure what your plan for it is, but I really recommend playing safe on Meditite just in advance.
Yeah, I will do the Hondo strat.
Yeah, okay, good.
Don't kill it.
Don't kill it, yeah.
I'll just do the Hondo strat.
Yeah, good.
I learned no snacks, so I could have a backup if Meditite dies, and then I learned how to say, this is much better than anything no snacks does.
Yeah. Now, there's some Meditite later on that we'll be catching that has a Twisted Spoon, and it's crucial for the route. So missing out on that is less than stellar.
As a double safety, I will also save Stacy for the Meditite.
Smart.
Yeah, this run was supposed to be on a console, but I had a really, really, really rough week and I couldn't practice nearly as much as I wanted to. I streamed like twice this week instead of every single day like I've been. So, yeah, we're doing on emulator, and I will abuse the fuck out of save states if I have to, because this game is not forgiving.
Yeah,
no. This game is brutal.
Absolutely.
I've sat for 3 hours just doing Manip.
I think that's a very universal experience for everyone who's ever run this game. You're kind of just sat there doing Manips for a while. Which is why I just, personally, I just stopped going live until I actually got a run going, both on this game and in XD. I'll just, not stream until I actually have a run. I have a secondary and I have a main. It's just, there's no point in me sitting there for 3 hours on stream.
Yeah, it's also
doing nothing. So yeah, this is the mayor of Fennec Town, or Fennec City. Very inconspicuous. Especially the person.
Help us! What a nice guy.
Yeah, especially the person walking out of there too. Very inconspicuous. There was nothing suspicious about that at all. Just your friendly neighborhood mayor.
With the friendly neighborhood guy with the wavy hair that is totally not Shadow Riku.
Yeah. I've heard that reference before. I forget which character he is similar to.
Oh, it's from a Kingdom Hearts character. People tell me that NASCAR looks like Shadow Riku all the time. I have no idea who they're talking to, but I believe them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've heard that so many times too, and I'm just like, yeah, sure. I don't know anything about it. about
Right.
Final Fantasy, or not Final Fantasy. I meant
That's
Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
I know nothing about Kingdom Hearts. I've played a lot of Final Fantasies. I have no idea what Kingdom Hearts is.
Yeah, I
I
don't
just
know.
know there's Disney around it.
It's just Disney Final Fantasy.
Fair enough.
There's even Cloud Strife.
Alright.
I totally know what this is.
Anyway, so these guys are mad because we blew up their base, and we're just gonna kill them.
The best part about this game are the trainer names.
Yes, absolutely.
There are some great ones. Hunter Week, it's pretty good.
Ryder Raiden.
Ryder Raiden is good.
This is Ryder.
There are just a lot of good ones.
The guy that has Melitite is called Twan or something like that, so people just call him Ryder Twat.
Yeah, Ryder
Because
Twan,
he
yeah.
takes so many runs.
Yeah, Twan's not great. Don't like Twan.
Nobody likes him.
But yeah, in general, there's just like a lot of good ones. There's also Team Snag and Biden. Both in Call of
we're not
Duty
gonna
and
see him
XD.
in any percent, unfortunately.
Yeah, we don't see Biden in any percent in Call. You do see him in any percent in XD though, so
Oh yeah, true.
you got the double Biden content actually.
Yeah, Anne is right. The absolute best thing about this game is that you started by blowing stuff up.
Yeah.
Great. Your typical Pokemon
Doesn't like blowing things up.
protagonist starts by blowing up something and then stealing this thing that he has on his left arm, which is going to be explored just a little later.
Yep. So we're gonna go shopping here, and unlike in a lot of other Pokemon games, we have a lot of money to start off with. So we're just gonna be selling a couple of items that aren't really useful at all throughout the run. Well, barely useful, and we're gonna be buying a lot of X specials, 33 to be precise.
Do you want? Yes.
So, and those are gonna be extremely useful throughout this run because we're gonna be using a glitch that you'll be seeing later on, but then we can talk about it when we get there. But yeah, it's extremely useful in this game to have those X specials, so we just buy 33 of them. You don't actually need all of them, but they can come in handy for certain faster strats or backing up things, so it's always nice to have them. And we don't need the extra money for anything else, so we might as well just get 33. And it's also just fast to do 2 down inputs and just press A instead of doing more down inputs, I guess. So yeah,
Yeah.
just useful.
The glitches we use in this game are incredibly important.
Yeah.
They're tiny, but they're huge.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're going to be selling 4 Pokeballs here and getting a Great Ball. This is also setting up for yet another glitch that again you'll be seeing pretty shortly. And
This
it's
one is
really
way-
crucial, and but we'll only be using it at 2 points. So, but yeah, it's probably the most famous glitch from this actually.
Yeah, for sure.
And you'll be seeing that in about 6 minutes, 5 minutes.
Most commonly used with the Master Ball, but the Master Ball is a 5-minute detour that any percent cannot afford to take.
Yeah, no. It's called the Master Ball glitch, and we'll get back to that later. Or a lot of people call it the Master Ball glitch, and we'll get back to it later. But yeah.
But first, we need to do these 2 very simple fights, and also short salsa. Even though he's not short at all, but you'll see what I mean. Very, very
Peak
short.
of character design.
This guy is glorious.
Oh yeah, no, Mirabee is great. Probably the most famous character from these games, or
For
at
sure.
least the most liked.
And it's only partially because of his music.
His music is great though, in both games.
In both games.
Certainly. I actually prefer Kalos over XDs.
Yeah, I'm not
They're
sure.
different. I prefer Follows in terms of a fun meme theme, if you know what I mean, but in terms of... I don't want to say actual music, but I'm going to say actual music. Like, Dexy's thing is so good. So good. But again, Kalos is more fun.
Yeah. I would say, like, the fighting Kalo is just so bad. So it makes me dislike the
It's
song.
terrible.
The fight in Kalo is terrible, yes. I had one die to that yesterday because I forgot to save the
Oh,
state. Like, oh, I
Amazing.
guess the run's dead.
Yeah. No, the fighting Kalo is just terrible.
I can
Especially if you miss the 31 range. So that makes me like not like it that much, but I would say they're both pretty good either way. Also, speaking of something that just happened, you saw there she got a critical hit, and critical hits on this game, unlike in all other Pokemon games, I believe, this on XD, do not lose time. Yeah, the text boxes don't actually take any time, so getting used that was a useless crit pretty much, and getting that is not actually that gonna end up mattering at all.
Yeah. So the backup Espeon that I'm going to have to use is not a Rash, it's a Modest. It's an Espeon that sacrifices attack for special attack. We do use Return for a couple of fights, but for this particular Espeon, that's probably not going to matter because it's maxed on attack.
That's funny.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Also worth mentioning that the return animation is about 0.8. Or using return is about 0.8 faster than using confusion, which is why you'll see using return every now and then.
Yeah. Whenever we can choose
confusion PP.
we always use return.
So this is our first Shadow Pokemon here, and the only case of instant text in the game as well. I wish they had kept that for the rest of the game, but no.
It would be nice.
It would be very nice.
It sure would.
Oh shit! Makuhita lived. That's the first.
Oh.
Yeah, it's because of your special attack not being great.
That's fine.
It's still not favored to live, but it's pretty likely on your special attack. So, but it's fine. It just uses the focus energy. So.
Okay, so let me get started on changing this Espeon stats. So I have several things open on both the computer I'm doing a run and on my laptop. I have the notes, I have a spreadsheet, a very, how do I say this? Complete spreadsheet with every single fight, every single Pokemon, every single range I'm going to have to deal with. Which is pretty amazing. And then I have the program that helps me determine the Espeon and the Quilava that I'm going to use with all the IVs and the hidden powers those Pokemon have. Alright.
So yeah, here we'll be doing our first out of 2 captures in this game, and we'll actually be getting our secondary Pokemon in this battle. So this is a Mystery Brazo, and he's gonna send out Quilava, and this is our secondary Pokemon for choice for this game, considering everything is a double battle. And it's gonna be extremely crucial, and we're going to be checking the stats of Quilava after this, although it won't matter since our Espeon isn't runnable. But this is about 1 in 3 to get a runnable Quilava, depending on what your stat threshold is. It can be 1 in 4, 1 in 3, 1 in 8 even. It depends for how strict you're going to be with your requirements. But in general, it's not too bad, but you can go on dry streaks that, because not only do stats matter, mostly your special attack. You can take pretty much any speed, but not only do stats matter, your nature matters a lot for purification, which we'll be getting into later, but yeah, you really want a good purification nature as well as a good special attack on your Quilava and okay enough speed.
The Quilava that I'm going to run is a negative nature speed, but it's one of the best natures to purify, so we can totally...
Is it Brave?
No, it's Sassy.
Okay. Yeah, no, Sassy's like a top tier purification nature, so that's very good.
the first sassy I got ever since learning the game. Learning the game, I got 3 sassies in a row.
Great. I love
And
beginner luck.
then this is the first one I've seen since then.
Amazing. The Kulava is about a 40% capture here. The 40%ing, yeah, it's a lie. Well, it is 40%, but it doesn't feel like 40% a lot of the time.
You're being quite stubborn there, buddy.
So yeah, this Kulava has missed out on 2 40% captures here.
Quite good. In the meantime, I'm just gonna kill this Spoink and then... Game, please.
Yep. Also, the Spoink can crash your game. So yeah, that's also
Really?
fun. Yeah.
Because
And
I've
the
had
game
the
can
game
just
crash
crash.
on console before. I never suspected it would be because of the Spoink.
Yeah, we're not 100% sure exactly what causes it. But
That.
basically, yeah, this point can just crash the game and it's fun when that happens. So,
Very fun.
yeah, everyone loves that. The game will also just it's also very loud.
I think that this Quillov is unrunnable because 2 hits for 30% on Espeon is very, very weak.
Yeah, we'll see. It could also be low rolling. It can be really hard to tell, but yeah, probably not runnable.
Well, it would definitely not be runnable if this was a normal run because it's being hella stubborn.
Yeah, no, this is definitely
Hey, there it goes.
not the greatest start.
And what we've been doing to duplicate that Great Ball is we go into the item menu with our Umbreon to, oh goodness, throw the ball, and then with Espeon, we go back into the items menu. We hit X or Y to move the item to the bottom slot to switch it around.
7 special attack. That's like the lowest possible.
Oh, that's nasty. Yeah,
Nasty. I'm glad I missed Vanip.
that's jolly, I think. That's plus speed minus special attack. So you had 58 speed and 47 special attack, so that's like a... It's not even good jolly.
Right, we'll load the backup. It's fine.
Yeah, no, we're gonna load it back up later on. Anyways, it's okay. This is why you get a backup, because running this Kulava would have been an absolute nightmare.
An absolute nightmare.
Running this Espeon would have been an absolute nightmare.
I would honestly rather run this Espeon than this Kulava, because this Kulava is just going to... Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare to run with. And it would outspeed Espeon on Mount Battle, just because the Espeon is not great. So, yeah, overall it would be just absolute nightmare to deal with. So I'm glad we don't gonna have to deal with that.
Very glad we don't have to deal with that.
Instead we're gonna get a good, sassy Kulava.
That's okay. Like, it's not the greatest, but it's pretty good.
What kind of special has it got?
It's got 20.
Okay, yeah, that's good enough. It's runnable, so...
Yeah.
And a good nature, so you definitely take that.
I'm not even going to heal, I'm just gonna talk to this guy. You have to talk to him in order to progress in the plot, because he tells you that the guy at the entrance who was talking to the police was lying through his teeth. Surprise! We have runnables now.
Oh. Talking to this guy is also useful for step RNG, so... It's, doing this extra walking isn't really time loss in that sense, because we would have to get an extra call. Because of how the walk cycles work out if we didn't do this, so it works out.
I completely agree. The soundtrack for this game is one of the best. I'm going to start save stating now.
So yeah, this is Kale, the gatekeeper in this game. Kale is fun because your run is somewhat likely to die here. You've just got to imagine the scenario. So you've been resetting for a couple of hours, you've not been getting them enough, and then maybe you've missed a couple of quells, and then finally you're getting the God Quell and you get on a run, and then you get to Kale, and then your Espeon dies and your run is over. And then you smile, and then you go again.
It's extremely fun, trust me. That's a very frail Flurret, though. Which is
Yeah,
good.
that's a good hit, yeah.
It's not great hit.
So that's the worst move Furry can use. You really don't want it to be using Strength. Kulava can die in this fight and it's fine. If Espion dies, you reset the game. So, and getting Shadow Mode or Hyper Mode here is very good off the bat. Imprison is unfortunate, but it's fine. Ideally, we want to see Furry here using a Helping Hand. That's the best thing it can do. The second best thing it can do is Quick Attack. So
This is fine, I guess, as long as it doesn't go for Kulava. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll go with it. It would be dead anyway.
it's alright. Ideally, Kulava survives this fight, and ideally, you just
We will get
finish
that
with it.
ball.
Yep. But it's fine. And so,
Umbreon is fine here.
yeah, Umbreon's fine. So yeah, here getting imprisoned from Rrlat is also not great here, because Rralt has confusion, and so it disables Espeon in this fight from using confusion at all. So getting imprisoned is pretty bad, pretty slow, but you work around it, so it's not the end of the world.
I'm going to heal to Espeon. Because Umbreon doesn't really need to do anything else other than kill this rolls.
Yeah, no. This Rose just needs to die because of imprison. Because the imprison ends when it dies.
And because I know that was a really good roll for it, I know it's going to die.
Yeah, no, this fruit is both physically
and
and...
I mashed away, and I shouldn't have mashed, but it's fine, it's the next turn. And even if he quick attacks here, it's fine.
Yeah, no, you're good, you're good.
I'm just nervous. Stop
Don't
it.
worry about it.
Stop
There's no
it.
reason... You're doing great. There's no reason to be nervous.
No. Okay, this is whatever. It's actually better because the... Don't crit. Okay. This is better because the Seedot is a 2-hit KO to bite. I don't remember. How is my Umbreon? Oh no, it's a 2-hit KO to bite, it's naive. So next turn I can just mash A, and this time it will work out because both the incoming matchup and the Seedot will die.
Yep. This Seedot you really don't want to... Well, you can stick around and farm Hyper Mode off it sometimes, but it does use Bite, and that can get scary if you try to hit it enough with Kulava and you're just not getting Hyper Mode and you're hitting its Bite. But usually you're okay. But yeah, it's just like, it can be frustrating and scary. But for the most part, the Seedot is just like a useful machine for farming Hyper Modes on Kulavas that need calls.
Yeah, because we are using a very good nature. I'm not too worried about missing the call here, but we still have a couple more fights to go. So I'll try and farm the 2 calls I want there.
Yeah, on this Sassy with that 20 IV and its special attack, I would definitely get 2 calls. So you get the Tesla XP.
More experience.
No, Tesla XP, I believe, is 2 calls with Sassy.
2 calls with movement.
Yeah, I would go for that on 20 IV.
You can get that on the Sandshrew, no biggie.
Yeah, we're gonna be okay. But yeah, so basically what we're saying right now is like, essentially, there's in particular one fight for later on where you need, or where you really want some extra XP on lower IV-ish Kulavas, so you can get a very important range, or you will die, and it's very bad.
2 minutes.
Yeah, it's very bad if you miss that range later on. So that's what we're talking about, getting Tisler XP. Tisler is a trainer we'll be finding coming up pretty shortly. And yeah, it's just very useful to actually start getting XP by that time, which means that your heart gauge is down by a certain amount by the time that we get to that fight. So yeah.
So the Shadow Pokemon, instead of having an XP bar, they have the Shadow Gauge. They have 5 segments on their Shadow Gauge. Each segment that is cleared reveals something to them. So the first gauge reveals their first move, other than Shadow Rush. In Kulava's case, it's Smokescreen, so it's useless. The second one reveals their nature, and it's also when they start getting experience. So we want that to be cleared as soon as possible. if it doesn't lose you time, so if you don't need the extra experience, you can be a little more liberal with how many calls you have to do. The third gauge reveals you the second move, and the last gauge reveals the fourth move, which is Flame Wheel for Quilava, which is extremely important.
Sadly, Flame Wheel is the fourth move, which means also means it's in the fourth slot. So it's both annoying to get to in the menu, and also the latest move you get, and pretty much the only useful one. The third move we get is with Quilava is Dig, and Dig is okay. It's used for a couple of fights, but in general not too useful. But you do actually play around getting Flame Wheel at a certain point early on to get some blaze ranges, which is Quilava's ability, which is when it's at 1/3 HP, fire attacks are powered up by 0.5, so pretty useful.
This is basically a small story segment.
Yep. We just go grab this gear, slot it back into the windmill so the Coliseum gets electricity.
This is totally how Aeolic energy works.
Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to go look for clues as to where the gear might be and stuff like that, but yeah.
The gear is always in the same place, so not really an issue.
Not an issue for the speedrun. So this is Duking. He's talking about how that little child we saw earlier, Silva, went off running with the gear, or stole the gear from this guy man at the windmill, and that we retrieved the gear, and he's thankful that we retrieved the gear. So you'll see that when we slot back in the gear here, you'll see that this man who's working the windmill will sell 30 long years of cranking gears. And if you go in XD, which is at 5 years later, and talk to this man, he'll talk about 35 years of cranking gears, which is just like a nice little Easter egg, I guess.
Consistency.
Yeah. Consistency in the story. You love it.
Mm-hmm. That's something this game does a lot, actually. This and the sequel. They are very consistent between themselves.
Yeah, you can see the place that wasn't blew up at the start, that's still blown up in XD, so they haven't fixed that up, even 5 years running. So she's going to be doing a little bit of extra movement here, and that's what we talked about earlier with actually getting the heart gauge down enough so that you get the XP that you need for the Tisler trainer. That'll be coming up shortly.
Alright, and now we do Pirates Coliseum. This is the only Coliseum any percent has to do because it's story relevant. So essentially, the bad guys are giving shadow Pokemon to the winners of the Coliseum, and the King just recruited us to find out why or how.
Yep. So, as she just mentioned, this isn't the only actually story-relevant Coliseum we'll be doing, which is fun for a game called Pokemon Coliseum. We're only really doing one Coliseum, and it's super short.
Hundo does all of them, but not this one.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a bird. Very loud bird. Go on Hyper. That's fine. Yeah. We have time.
You really don't want this Barboach to live, because it has secret power which can confuse you.
And
so
his water gun.
And his water gun, but just a lot of damage to Quilava. Luckily this is a sassy, so you generally find taking special moves. But yeah. I would try to farm calls on this Sentry, if possible.
Yeah, this is Call Central now.
Yep, so this Sentry here has Poison Sting, which is very slow if it poisons you. We do get the Hyper Mode here early on, which is good.
Don't poison me. Poisoning Espeon is even worse.
Yep, because Espeon is synchronized, which means the Sentry also gets poisoned. So it's very, very, very slow.
Try and get the second call on Twizzler and you should be fine. Please don't poison me, otherwise I'm gonna have to kill you. Still try to force the second call now. Nice. Perfect.
Good. So now we're gonna be getting Tisler XP. Tisler is the next trainer coming up. And that XP is gonna allow us to guarantee a range coming up later on.
I'm fine with this poison now.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter at this point. And especially since it's not on Espeon.
Yeah. Okay. So, great start. I want to get into hyper mode one more time, but we are at 30% chance. Yeah, so it will happen sooner or later, and that's important for pirate building. But we're gonna talk about that a little later. How is my attack?
So, essentially, just like a quick note about hyper mode is that when you're in hyper mode, you're 15 out of 16 to get a critical hit, and the entire route is pretty much based, or the entire early game route is pretty much based on Kulava critting things in hyper mode.
If you don't use in hyper mode, things go very south very fast.
Yep. There is also 1 in 256 chance of just like losing hyper mode out of nowhere.
I've had it happen twice.
Yeah, I've had that happen at a marathon. Fun.
Oof.
You really don't want to see that 1 in 256 losing hyper mode. It's pretty bad because you don't actually get the call from losing hyper mode when that happens, which is very frustrating. Also, yeah, awakenings are worthless in this game because you can't just call your Pokemon and he wakes up.
They can be useful if you want to attack with the Pokemon that's asleep, but that's it.
Yeah, it's very, very niche.
If you're playing casually, you just never bother with that.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty useless.
Hyper mode also happens the worst timing when you're playing casual.
This is mine too. Hyper mode just tends to happen at the worst possible time in general.
Yeah, it's got a bad track record.
It's very finicky.
For sure. So yeah, that's Tisler, the second trainer of the Coliseum out of 4.
Come on, there we go.
And the next one has my favorite theme out of the battles in the Coliseum.
I think everybody loves this theme, but you only listen to it once in any percent.
It's so sad.
Unfortunately.
For a very short period of time.
Just pray for all the quick attacks so we can listen to it a little longer.
Oh god, yeah. So this fight has 2 Pokemon that have Quick Attack. Quick Attack is, first of all, an extremely slow animation. And it's also the only way these Pokemon outspeed you, so you hate to see Quick Attack. There's the Vulpix coming in later that also has Quick Attack, and there's Electrike has Quick Attack. So pretty much you hope to see 0 Quick Attacks, but it's unlikely. You usually see at least 1.
Or all 3 of them. That's the best one.
So now we're going to be doing the X Special glitch. Essentially, the idea is that you target a Pokemon with an item that has no effect. So in this case, it was a Paralyze heal. You can also usually use a Revive and a Full Heal, and then target that Pokemon later on with an X Special. And with X Special, the Pokemon that you targeted with the item that had no effect, which is extremely useful. And we pretty much only use that on Espeon. We did it on Kulava or Typhlosion later on a couple of times, but it pretty much allows us to X Special Espeon on Kulava's turn and get the immediate effect of the X Special, which is crucial for the entire routing of the game.
It's so important that this is even possible to begin with. The Vulpix didn't die. And the Vulpix didn't use Quick Attack, so that's fine. I would really like the Kulava to enter Hyper Mode on this fight on the next one. Get worried for Nor. I had a docile, not yesterday, yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I had to do the entire pirate building with no hyper mode. It was pain.
Oh god, yeah, no. Doing pirate building, which is the area coming up after this Coliseum, pretty much the entire building is routed around Kulava being in hyper mode and getting the crits from hyper mode. So if you're not in hyper mode in that area, it's going to be bad. And especially for some natures that are likely to not get into hyper mode, especially after doing a couple of calls. It can be super frustrating if you have to go through the battles without hyper mode, especially the first battle in Pirate Building, which is Nor, that has a Yanma that can get really, really obnoxious.
The saving grace for that fight is Espeon crit the Yanma, but everything else was just bad. There's no other way of putting it, without going into bad words. There are two ranges on this fight, the Goulding and the Delibird. I think the Goulding is a little better, but they're both bad and sort of, that's annoying.
So yeah, that's a 50% range on the Geraldine. You hate missing that.
If it uses Horn Attack, it's whatever, but Surf is so slow.
So speaking of Surf, the main old Pokemon for this area actually used to be it used to be Croconaw, but Surf is slow. And it ended up being quite a lot slower than Typhlosion.
It's much slower, but you can take more Croconaw than you can Quilava.
Also, you don't have to worry about missing attacks with Croconaw, and
That's correct.
Going to have to play with Fire Blast!
You can't miss Surf.
So the thing about Assassinator, even though it's very good for purifying, they are very slow Quilavas. Oh, nice, I don't have to worry about the range after all. So there are a couple of speed tiers that I'm just not going to get. And nice, perfect. We are ready for pirate building now.
Yep. Very good.
Yeah, Nando, I run Croc personally.
I
So
would
this-
love to Lord Croc and Bailey. Shoutouts to Helio. What a
I've never
Big
ran
ups to
Croc.
Helio for routing. Thinking of.
Bayleaf is a nightmare. Bayleaf is slow, and it's got bad stat. It's just like,
It's just not a good Pokemon.
yeah, and
I love it. It's
bad
cute.
offensive stats, and the best stab option it has access to for the most of the game is Razor Leaf.
yeah,
That's 55 base.
it's just a nightmare. So yeah, we're gonna finish up the Coliseum now. Gonna get them so 4,848 Pokedollars and the TM for Toxic, and then we're gonna head out.
They're really generous with money in this game, but at the same time, it all is very important later with what you need to buy.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting a lot of TMs on this route, so we really do need the money, and especially since we spend all of it starting out on the X specials, it's really useful.
It's cheaper than Croc, that's for sure.
So
Well, yeah.
As the king told us, we won the Coliseum, so they bring us inside to give us a shadow Pokemon. It's implied that they were going to give us this Yanma. Then they realized, oh wait, this guy is actually against us. Maybe we shouldn't have brought him in. And obviously that goes as bad as you'd think. For them, not for us. Unless we get trolled by this Yanma. Hopefully it won't happen.
So if there's one Pokemon you really don't want to miss the Shadow Rush crit on, it's this Yanma. It can still die if you miss the Shadow Rush crit, but it's unlikely to die. And missing the Shadow Rush crit on this Yanma means you risk getting, well, trolled really hard. It has Supersonic, and it has Uproar, and it has Shadow Rush, and it's just generally a slow Pokemon to stick around, because all of Yanma's animations are very laggy as well. So Shadow Rush is okay here.
Right now I confused this Yanma, and just the getting confused and the both animations of getting confused and then is it going to attack or not? That's just what, 8 seconds on its own?
Yep, it's really bad. Confusing this Yanma is just like super bad. You don't like seeing that. In general, you don't like seeing confusions in this game at all because it's just slow. It plays an extra animation. And as we talked
Secondary
about,
effects in this game in general.
yeah, and as we talked about earlier, seeing extra animations really bad in this game.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah, we have really good special defense. I'm not healing this Quilava.
So yeah, this is just like known as the Mash A fight, because if everything goes right, you just Mash A in this fight.
I love this fight if everything goes right. Even the Pineco used Bide. And it's not going to be a bother.
You do need a Shadow Rush crits though, as in the Source Kit, for example. This only dies if you get the crit. And this Pineco, I believe, is a 9 out of 16 range?
I think so, yeah. I know it's a range, I don't know
With confusion,
the range. Let me see.
it's decently favorable.
It's decent, yeah. The Pineco is 56%.
Okay. That makes sense? Yeah. So 9 out of 16. So, but even if you miss a hit, you're guaranteed with Shadow Rush, so it's fine.
The upcoming Tailo can be very scary because it knows a never, and it's a 99% range. I've seen runs die to a 99% range before on XD. It wasn't nice.
Oh, are you talking about Ryziken's run on the Swallow?
Yes, I am talking about that one.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, XD has a lot. XD has more 99% ranges than this game does. But this game also has some 99% ranges because of something I don't think we've mentioned before now. And that's that shadow Pokemon are pretty much like wild encounters. They have random stats and random natures. So some ranges, even though they're very, very favorable, are not guaranteed. Because in some scenarios, the shadow Pokemon will, for instance, have a plus special defense nature and 31 IVs in special defense. And then suddenly you're actually unfavored to OHKO it on that with your Pokemon on that level and at that special defense.
I've had my Typhlosion die once because I hit a Flame Wheel on a Heracross and it lived. And it wasn't a plus nature, but it was 30 IVs on special attack. I could not believe my eyes. Just so savage.
So yeah, that's one way this game can be pretty ruthless. XD is worse in that regard, just because there are more shadow Pokemon, but
Please die.
in general, they're both pretty rough, and you just hate seeing those 99% ranges now work out. But yeah, this Tailo is not a shadow poke, and it's fine. It usually goes well, even though it does have Endeavor.
Yeah, I quit the run once because I missed a range. The Quilava didn't crit the Hoothoot, so they both lived. And Endeavor wing attack on Espeon.
Ah, yeah, I've had that too. I've died on this fight before.
This is muscle memory. It's fine.
And
I'll return type Quilava if I have to.
It doesn't matter. Worst case, you can also just play with hyper mode.
Yeah, just play with hyper mode if we don't get plays.
There's no reason to hit yourself. It's just faster to go with hyper mode if you don't get to place HP. So we're gonna be trying to manipulate place HP in this building, but with that heal, it's less likely to get early place HP.
If I was with low special defense, it would still be fine, but my special defense is pretty high because I'm running Assassin.
Yep.
But just I'm so used to running Quilavas with bad defenses overall that I didn't even think twice about going to the machine.
Yep. So in this fight, both Larvitar and Karana will use Focus Energy. No, not Focus Energy. They'll use. They'll use Focus Energy. So we use that to our advantage by just setting up an X special and killing one because they're not going to kill you unless you're in kill range. If this Karana or that Larvitar can actually kill you, they will use an attacking move. So if you're too low going into this fight, you definitely always need to heal just because of that. But in general, this fight's just free, because an N+1 Espeon just one-shots everything except Corona, which dies to usually even a critless Shadow Rush. So yeah, you can often miss this crit and still one-shot this Corona, because Corona has very bad defenses.
The Docile I had yesterday killed us without a crit. This was the only fight that went well without hyper mode.
So yeah, that's Geats. There's a lot of fights coming up in this building, and a lot of them are very reliant on hyper mode, so not having that is super unfortunate.
There's one from here real soon that's going to be long and tedious.
Oh yeah, sure is. Very controversial fight, I should say.
Wait, what fight?
I mean, coming up later at the end of the building.
Oh!
I thought that's what we were talking about.
Talking about now, yeah. But that one doesn't really use hyper mode. That's the last fight.
No, it doesn't use hyper mode, but it's got a very interesting range.
Very definitely a run killer.
Yeah.
But Magnemite, if you crit me,
Probably
that
good.
would be very good.
So this Magnemite will Thunder Shock, and almost always Thunder Shock Quilava. I believe sometimes the AI actually gets just shifted to Espeon, but it's exceedingly rare, so you kind of just assume it attacks Quilava. That's also another thing in this game. The AI will shift depending on your defenses. So if your Espeon, for example, has particularly bad defenses, what we assume the AI will do normally, it won't. So we have a spreadsheet for that too, or the spreadsheet Pharaoh was talking about earlier. You can also actually see if the AI is shifted due to your defenses.
Hello?
And shifted defenses or shifted AI can be both good and bad. Generally, it's not great because the route is routed around AI not being shifted, but if it is shifted, there are strats and ways to adapt to it.
Yeah. So, ideally here the Voltorb will attack Quilava and put us in Blaze. If it doesn't happen, we will just go with Hyper Mode to the rest of the building, which is also fine. Other than that, this is a really simple fight.
Yep. This Voltorb here is a 7 out of 8 range.
Missing this is painful. Go on, Quilava. Okay, it's fine.
Yep. Probably just means you need to keep Hyper Mode. For
Mode's fine.
yeah, it's not that slow.
Yeah. It's not that much slower.
Yep. Also, it's very marathon safe, so
It's really only important for the next two fights.
yep. You want either Hyper Mode or Blaze for the next two fights coming up here. Those two fights are particularly bad without Hyper Mode
Yes, they are.
or Blaze.
The Ladybug didn't die. Guess you're confused now.
Haha.
Haha.
The Ladybug doesn't need to use Supersonic, but it can use Supersonic. It also uses Common Punch.
Which is also extremely slow.
Yep, and Tackle, which is less slow.
Probably the fastest of the three.
For sure.
I've had the Ladybug survive once, use Tackle and miss. Like, perfect. Thanks.
So yeah, Dodo's always a one-shot here. Ladybug's always a one-shot on Hyper Mode, and Swablu's a two-shot.
Only one shot if we get the crit.
Well, yeah, if we get the crit, which we didn't.
Uh,
Which is why you want Hyper Mode for this, but we missed the 15 out of 16. It does use Tackle though, so we're good. It's fine. Although that means
I'll give the chance to call here and use Flame Wheel on the Snorunt. I think
Sure.
that's the best option.
I mean it works out.
Boss.
Another confusion here, untimely, just gonna lose us even more time. Of course it crits on the useless turn.
It is what it is.
Crit matters.
Yeah. At least you didn't get punished by missing the first one.
Gross. Welcome to Colosseum. This is how things are.
So you're all seeing how slow all this is. Imagine we could just have skipped this if we got the crit.
And getting the call here isn't bad though.
No, getting the call is fine. But
Because that means I can just use Flame Wheel for the next two fights.
still not ideal, but you take it.
We take those. I'm going to heal here. Usually you wouldn't. If you had Blaze, you'd just take this upcoming range. But I don't want to die. I want to play Marathon safe.
Safe thing good.
This guy has completely random AI. He has a Spheal and a Snorunt. The Spheal has Water Gun. If Water Gun targets Quilava on less than half HP, the Quilava dies.
With your nature, you're probably decently safe on even lower-ish HP, but it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's really not worth it. That's smokescreen. Also, the Snorrent can just die. I hate the Snorrent. Such a troll. They both are, honestly. That's the third confusion.
This is getting pretty ridiculous with all these untimely confusions.
Ridiculous.
What, 30% chance?
I don't think it's
10.
less than that.
It's 10.
10. There. Die, potato.
So yeah, no, it's very, very unfortunate to keep critting. I say keep confusing like this. You hate to see it.
How did this happen? How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes.
Got nowhere to run.
Alright, don't forget this chest. This chest is very important.
Especially during a marathon.
Especially during a marathon. I hate this all dish.
Yeah, this all this can be frustrating. So this this fight has dance AI, which pretty much means that all of these Pokemon will use their dance moves. So Horsey has Dragon Dance, Oddish has Petal Dance, and Accenture coming up has Sword Stance. And they will all use that unless you're in kill range. But this fight can be very annoying if you're not in Blaze, because the Oddish has a bad range on most special attacks. And if it does, it kind of deals a decent chunk of damage and is pretty slow with Petal Dance, so...
That's fine. Again, our special defense is really high.
Yeah, ideally it targets Quilava here. And Quilava's definitely not dead to Bubble Beam, so you don't need to heal.
He is dead now. I need to put him to full if I don't want him to.
Really? Even on
Yeah.
Sassy?
Max roll is 68.
Oh, okay. What IV is the special defense?
26. I
Oh,
think.
okay. Are you sure?
Yeah, that's what the sheet says. Max roll for Bubble Beam is 68.
That
But
doesn't make
that's-
sense, because...
That's for Mantine's Bubble Beam, not.
Oh,
not
yeah.
Tentacles.
I was talking
No,
about Tentacle.
no, he's fine on the tentacle. He's totally
Yeah,
fine with the tentacle.
I was so confused here, because I was like, wait, that makes no sense, but yeah.
No, no, no,
I was just
no,
talking
no.
about you don't need to heal on this fight.
I'm thinking about the Mantine already.
Yeah. No, I was just talking about this fight. Because I was like, wait, that... Every Espeon should die in this fight then. They don't, so... So yeah, here's another fight where we use Return, just because it's faster.
Yeah, the tentacle basically never dies to a single confusion, so we just prefer to hit KO with the return.
Yep, and a crit Return kills anyways. So there's no reason ever to use Confusion here. Unless you're very low attack on Espeon, then Return can be a range to 2-hit KO.
Only modest Espeons with very low attacks will not return here.
Yep.
I don't like running modests with low attacks, so...
It's not the end of the world. I would rather run that than a terrible mild.
Rather run that than mild.
The mild are for the brave.
Especially in XD. God, mild is just unrunnable in XD.
Yeah, you're eating earthquakes all the time, so
Yep.
you eat 2 earthquakes at most in Colo.
Yeah, and even then it's not that bad.
Yeah. Because it's an earthquake from a Pokemon that will have much lower attack than your average Ursaring.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Even like a 31 AOV not equal, it's just gonna have lower attack than Ursaring.
5%. Alright. What are the chances I get into hyper mode here? The
What's that,
sheet
see?
is 5%. I say
Yeah.
it's 50%. We either get it or we don't.
Yeah, just don't get it.
Just don't get it. So there's a Love Disc coming up, and I have to hit it twice. I can either hit it with Hyper Mode or with Shadow Rush, or I can hit it with Dig, which doesn't hit it. That just means that Espeon has to hit it twice with Confusion. But I've had Quilava enter Hyper Mode here before, and that just means he's going to eat a Water Gun and not survive the Mantine.
Yep.
And with this Quilava, I would really like to be able to survive the Mantine at least one turn.
It's very useful to survive the Mantine. It makes missing the Apom range not as bad.
Yeah, for sure. Or like, you can just crit and everything will be fine. I tried. Okay, no Hyper Mode.
Good. We take those.
We take those.
So yeah,
That's how Wreath basically always goes.
Yep. Next fight here is probably one of the least liked fights, along with Kale from the early game.
Yeah.
So it's very much with the Shadow Mantine, and it can be really disgusting. It pretty much, unless you have Shifted AI, which is super, super rare, for your Umbreon has like no special defense.
No special defense.
And you have an Espeon with very good special defense. So you can't be Rash, for example.
I've had that happen once. You know what the Mantine did? They
did it?
won on Espeon.
Yeah,
It was glorious.
it's great. So, but yeah, no. Usually Mantine will just Bubble Beam Espeon. And Bubble Beam is bad, one, if it crits, but also if it gets its, I believe, 10% chance to slow. Because then Mantine can be faster, which will waste a lot of extra healing items, most likely. So you hate to see that.
Die potato! Not today. Sad.
So yeah, this Apom's a 55% range, and probably one of the more useful ranges to get, because this Apom can be super frustrating. It will astonish Espeon, it's just slow to miss.
Because the Quilava survives, he is guaranteed to astonish the Quilava, but also the Mantine will also target Bubble Beam at Quilava.
Yep. So you get an extra turn, pretty much.
An extra turn where Umbreon... Oh, it went for Espeon, interesting.
As long as you don't flinch, you're fine.
No, I flinched.
Yeah.
So this is just annoying now.
It's fine. You just give him an extra turn, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You just fight with Umbreon and kill Apom. Or X-Special, I mean, yeah.
And you have the next two turns to take care of the Mantine.
Yep. So it's not the end of the world still. So yeah, this is why the Apom range is annoying, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. That makes sense. Never mind. I need to heal now.
Yep.
The Mantine is usually a 2-hit KO unless it has very high defenses.
Yeah. Quilava is also not, even on super high special defense, Quilava is also not guaranteed to survive Bubble Beam.
Because it depends on... many at Kagani. I have a very bad habit of mashing A.
I mean, that's normal muscle memory for this fight.
We'll just crit the Mantine. It'll be fine.
Usually you don't use return on this fight, because you don't end up in a situation where you do that. So usually what happens is that even if Quill survives, like, you just attack Apom and then X-Special Espeon on that turn, and you never really end up using return with Espeon. Unless Mantine survives the range, but that's just all the way at the end anyways.
You use Bite if the Mantine survives.
Yeah. So it's just like fine.
Alright, if we don't get crit, we should be fine. Okay. That's not good anymore.
You can still outspeed sometimes.
You can still outspeed sometimes. The Mantine becomes a speed range.
So let's see if we can get it.
That potion. Okay, no. We don't really need Umbreon to do anything, so...
Yep.
You can just pump heals on Espeon.
Umbreon is just useless.
He helps on no snags.
Yeah, because it's the only choice. So no snacks is another category of this game where we don't snag anything. So Espeon doesn't get the Twisted Spoon from a fight coming up very soon. And we don't get a secondary that isn't Umbreon, and Umbreon is bad.
Yeah,
So what's
Umbreon
your
has a lot of the same... Oh, it uses Sonic Boom, Lamau.
Yeah, it
Umbreon
always
has a lot
uses Sonic
of the
Boom.
same issues as the Bayleaf, in that it has very poor offensive stats. And it's just... Dark isn't a very good typing in this game, not very useful.
Yeah, it's almost a detriment in most scenarios, and Umbreon just has very poor offensive.
That was
So
a...
yeah, that was one of the firmest of all time.
That was one of the firmest of all time.
So yeah, this fight sucks. This is kind of showing up why.
We're through. That's what matters. Get a potion. I am going to get the 3 hypers downstairs because I have nothing left.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have 0 super versions, right? You're out?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to buy an extra.
0 supers, 1 potion, and I kinda want to make a detour to Fanak to buy at least 2 more potions before going to Agate.
Yeah, probably a good idea. At this point, it's a marathon strat anyways, it's fine.
Yeah, Mirab's just practicing his dance moves, like the absolute Chad he is.
Incredible move, by the way, moving your arm up and down.
Yeah, this is 30 seconds to get 3 hyper potions. Very, very, very important. And I really need to stop mashing during fights. You never go through that door. If you do, it's a minute to get back upstairs.
Yeah. It's very slow.
Alright, if you try to talk to this guy before fighting Rethan Forma, he will not let you through. But now
he
he
does.
refuses to fight you.
So this fight is likely to go well, but it can go terribly because there's another Goldeen in this fight, and this Goldeen has Supersonic. Supersonic's you. You're in for a good time.
Ooh. Also, this Quillfish has to die because it has a very powerful surf.
This Quillfish is, well, it's pretty obnoxious, but it's guaranteed on +1 at special attack, so pre-special glitch it was really bad.
Ooh. I don't even want to imagine that.
Luckily we have the special glitch now, so it's not a concern at all, and the other Pokemon are actually bigger concern.
Oh no. Okay. Thank you.
Did you get Supersonic Miss?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thought so.
Espeon's got the dance moves.
So Supersonic's Miss is optional. This Lightning can also troll. It has Sand Attack, Headbutt, a great combo. So it can flinch and make you miss.
You got this, buddy. There you go.
I believe in Kolava's ability to hit through. So that hit with 1 Flame Wheel, it's guaranteed to die to Espeon's Confusion at +1. So, good fight. Very good fight. Pretty much optimal, actually.
Yeah, because the Supersonic missed, so no extra animation there.
Yep, and Sand Attack is good, because it's kind of fast if you hit.
Okay.
I believe the fastest thing Lightning does is Odor Sleuth. Is that what it does?
His Author Sleuth, it has Headbutt, I don't... Oh, and Mud Sport. Mud Sport is also pretty fast, because it only shows Liloon, doesn't show anything else.
So Pharaoh is definitely gonna be getting the Hyper Potions here. These are
All
technically...
the Hyper Potions.
They're technically optional, but you get them. Yeah, I get them in most runs still. It's just a little detour for a very good safety strat. So why not?
That trainer is blind.
Yep. You can actually walk in a straight line past him, but if you only pick your controller up a little bit, it will hit him. And hitting optionals in this game, as you can probably imagine, is just the worst thing ever. Because of animations being slow. So yeah, here's the meta type we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
This fight sucks.
This fight sucks. And I actually was pretty successful last time I missed this and did a no snack strat, but I also had a modest Kulava with very good IV, so I'm just not gonna risk it this time. I'll do the Hundo strat, which basically just says, okay, Meditite didn't stay in the wall, we'll deal with it later.
Yep. It's really frustrating when this meta type doesn't get in, first of all. It's the same percent capturable as Quill, 40%. So, promo that is. So it's super obnoxious when it breaks out like this.
Yeah. The any percent strat for this fight is faster if it goes well, because it's guaranteed to stay in the second wall. But if you have to hit it with a confusion, so if it breaks out, it gets confused, it uses high jump kick and misses and falls, it gets confused and it hits itself. Like, there's so many ways this thing just kills itself.
Yep. It's not great. High jump kick is kind of the worst thing it can do. Because it has the chance to damage itself, but it also does a lot of damage to Quilava. Hopefully we're gonna see a capture here.
Yeah. Hondo's strat just kills everything else, leaves the Meditite alive, and returns with Espion until it dies, or it's on red. Which is way safer than using Confusion.
Hopefully we can get it here though, so we don't have to watch even more animations.
Or Quilava doesn't die, because that Shadow Rush hurt.
Yep. It's not too bad. It's not the end of the run if Quilava dies here, because we do have the revive. But it's still frustrating if it does. Okay. Meditite. Gotten. So this Meditite holds the Twisted Spoon that we were talking about earlier, and it used to be the only reason we captured Meditite. It isn't now, actually. We actually use Meditite as a crucial pivot point in the route itself. Because we actually need to look at this Meditite's defense and see if it shifts Scissor's AI for the final fight of the game. So
This one is way too high, though.
That's unfortunate. So you want Meditite basically to be targeted by Silverwind later on, but this one has too high defense for that to happen. So unfortunate, but you still take it. It's whatever.
Yeah, Meditite is still important as an extra body to get murdered in endgame if needed.
Yep. Hanky tight indeed.
So who hates the stun spars? I hate the stun spars.
Yeah, stun spars pretty bad.
Stun spars is awful.
The stun spars can snore you, it can glare, it can take down, and it can shadow rush, and it does a lot of damage because it's high level. So very frustrating. We actually take out the Mareep first, and ideally Quilava gets knocked into Blaze. Because if Quilava gets knocked into Blaze by down spars, we can 2-hit KO it.
Ideally, nobody dies in this fight. That's the big thing.
Yeah, you hate to see a death here. You also don't like seeing glare.
On Quilava. That's not Quilava. Okay, this is pretty weak. That's a very weak takedown.
That's a very bad Dunsparce. Usually that does a lot more. So... here, guaranteed here. And Dunsparce is also guaranteed to die here.
I'll take the healing machine because my potions don't look good.
Yeah, absolutely take the healing machine here. But no, you're absolutely in no way favored to live 2 takedowns from Dunsparce in this fight. So this Dunsparce has a atrocious attack pretty much.
Yeah, atrocious attack. Maybe it's a modest.
That would be hype. Should have caught it.
Should have caught it.
So yeah, we're gonna take the healing machine here. It's not always necessary, but it's not that slow to take, and it's a pretty nice safety strat to do.
Yeah.
Especially if you're low on potions like Pharaoh is in this scenario.
Now it's time to one-hit KO the Swallow.
I have never one-hit KO'd it, but I know it's possible.
Is it possible? Wow.
Yeah,
That sounds hype.
pretty much needs minimum stats.
The Swallow is also a big troll, but it's not nearly as bad as the Dunsparce.
Yeah,
Because it doesn't really hurt like the Dunsparce. It can just be annoying.
it puts you to sleep and it flies, and it's both of them are annoying.
Alright, so...
Ideally, we don't see either.
It's another special fight.
Sure, I just need a credit.
Do you hear that, Espion? Just crit it. Ah. That's not a very good confusion roll. Sometimes the Swablu will live through confusion and flame wheel.
So Sing, you do not like Sing is the worst thing it can do. Especially when it hits. Even though you can call out of it, it's just very slow. Warm up for the best fight.
True.
And with best fight, you mean literally the worst fight of all time?
But it has the best salsa.
True, but these games would be better off without that fight. As a speedrun.
Miracle Bees also.
Can't get rid of the iconic fight.
Trade offer. You remove Mirror B. I receive happen.
So this Beldum can be a range, but even if we miss the skill, it still kills itself with takedown, because all Beldums only have takedown and this is no exception.
Yep. And this Lombre is also arranged on at +1. It's a 10 and 16, I believe.
It's a very good range, but you miss it every now and then.
I feel like I miss this range way too often.
Hey! Look at that, we missed a range. Good thing.
It's because I'm here.
Alive.
So usually this Lombre is not out alone, so you don't double target it, and it gets to use a move. But yeah, now it's salsa time.
Now it's also time. Get ready to spam all your jam and or dance emotes. Not usually I'd heal, but Quilava is untouched. Espion is on pretty good HP, so I'm just gonna roll with it and hopefully that happens.
You usually don't need to heal before this fight, especially on your nature. Water Gun's not gonna do that much.
Yeah.
And it's unlikely to Water Gun twice.
Say that to my last run that died here. 29 flinched the Espion, and the 30 targeted Quilava with Water Gun twice. It was very fun. So it can't happen again on the marathon. So let's just miss the 31 range and watch Leech Seed animation for days.
The actual chat move is to miss the 31 range and then have it miss Leech Seed.
I've had
That's
that
my
happen.
favorite.
I've had that happen. Miss Leech Seed after missing a range. 29-30. You know what? I'm going to kill the 29. Fuck this bitch.
The 29 is scary because it has Astonish. 31-29 is a Nightmare lead, because then you have the Leech Seed Astonish lead, and then you just cry.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kill the 29. I hate this long.
Absolutely kill the 29 first in a marathon. I usually live the 29 up in runs just because it's the fastest thing to live up.
Yeah, but on marathon.
But at a marathon, at a marathon, it needs to go.
$29 is slot 1. Oh shit, please don't target Quilla. Don't double target Quillava. Okay.
So yeah, the AI here is fairly random. And so it allows for a lot of risk-taking like this. Yeah, with the 29 out of the way, we're pretty much safe as long as we don't miss the 31 range.
That afro is all hair, no brain.
So true.
He knows one thing, and it is dance.
Every single Ludicolo. Yeah, we just outspeed every single Ludicolo. What am I doing? Didn't miss the range, let's go!
So yeah, pretty much now Mirror-based fight is pretty much free from here on out. So you can lose some time to animations and stuff, but in general, from this point downwards, it's pretty much free.
The 30. The 28's only offensive move is Razor Leaf, so...
And there's a Shadow Sudowoodo, and it doesn't really do much. It's pretty much not scary at all. Razor Leaf miss is good. Oh, the double miss!
The double miss!
That's insane. You love to see the double miss. So this Sudowoodo doesn't always die if it's undamaged.
That's
hopefully...
fine.
Okay, got the range, good. So, in a run, the reason you leave the 29 up is because it doesn't have Razor Leaf, and Razor Leaf is a slow animation. So you just risk the Astonished Flinches. But in the marathon run, you don't do that, and you just sit through the Razor Leafs anyways.
That was very few Razor Leafs though, that was a good fight. I would have left the 30 alive if the Quillava wasn't on kill range for Water Gun. It was by very little, but a high roll would have killed it, so I just decided to play safe and kill the 30.
Definitely not worth keeping it alive then. So yeah, that's Mirror B, number 1.
Number 2 doesn't have salsa. It's a white people sad moment.
Yeah, the second fight is... Well, the second fight is better.
The second
IMO.
fight is better. Much less RNG on the second fight.
It does have a few fire blasts, but I feel like my brain is already tuned to having to hit those anyways. Whereas just missing the 15 and 16 range just feels so bad.
There is one fire blast miss that's awful, that's on the 44. If you miss the fire blast on the 45, that's whatever because it uses dig. And if you have to fire blast on the what's the name? What's the name? On the Loudred. If you have to fire blast on the Loudred, maybe you shouldn't have taken the Quillava.
I was gonna say that having to fire blast Loudred is you need pretty bad special attack.
Yeah.
So generally that fight is better, or yeah, it's just got less variance, I would say, overall.
Yeah, we have to talk to her, otherwise we don't get the next location where you have to go to. And before we go there, I'm going to have a quick stop to a shop that normally we wouldn't take, but I don't have any more potions, and I do want potions because potions are the best way to manipulate Typhlosion's HP to keep Blaze or regain Blaze at certain points.
Yep, potions and super potions are super useful. we're gonna be using an extra super potion a little later, so you're probably gonna need to get that in the agate shop.
Yeah, I'll get that one in Agate shop, but Agate doesn't sell potions, so it has to be here. No other
Yeah.
shop potions.
It's like I'm just gonna get something to drink.
So we'll just get like 2. 3 potions should be fine. Alright. And we're ready now to go to Agate. And this is where we are finally going to purify our Kolava. Also get a very important item here. Lotus, you want to talk a little about the experience share? Alright, so Rui, the girl that we have been escorting forever, we named A because it's faster. She was supposed to visit her grandparents here in Agate before she was abducted.
So yeah, this is just we're taking Rui home basically, and or pretty much home, I guess, semi-home, and we're hearing here that there's been a Team Cypher sort of I guess invasion or takeover here of the forest down here, or the cave, or whatever it's called, the Agate. What's that called again? Agate Cave? Agate something.
I'm not sure how that's supposed to be pronounced. But yeah, we have a couple of fights here, and most of them are pretty easy, and then there's one there that can be a little scary.
Yep, pretty much. In general, this split is okay. Overall, the fights are fine. There's not too much variance to them.
Because I have such high special attack, I really don't want to see this field using Surf. If Quilava enters hyper mode here, there are strats for that, so it's normally fine, but as long as this field doesn't use Surf, then this is a very easy fight. Very simple.
You want to see this field using Rock Smash?
Of course we get Surf. That's fine. If your special defense is very bad, you might get knocked into Blaze here, which makes the next 2 fights very, very fast, to the point where it offsets the time you lose from having to see the Surf animation, but because our special defense is so high, it would never have done that unless it was a crit.
Yep. It's still fine.
Yeah. As long as we win.
These fights in general are pretty free. There's not that much that can go wrong here. It's just there are some things that can go wrong, but rarely.
There's minor inconveniences.
Yeah, like getting confused.
What stats does Quill have? It's a Sassy with 26 special defense and 20 special attack. Crit. There is a way for you to get a one-turn fight here, but you have to either be in Blaze or crit the Shroomish.
Yeah, and even in Blaze it's a range, so prefer just getting the crit. I don't think I've actually...
Nice. I think we are anyway. But no, maybe not. No, probably not. No, that's way too high.
I don't think I've ever crit this Shroomish.
For 3 HP. We missed it by 3 HP.
That Oh well, it doesn't change. Of course you crit on that turn where it doesn't matter, by the way.
Always. At least we don't care about crits in this game anyway. As long as... Like, they can never be harmful, they can only help, so...
Well, if you could crit your own Typhlosion, it can be harmful.
Yes, that is true. That is very true.
A classic.
The classic. You're talking about hitting our own Typhlosion because after this, we want to try and set a place on our Typhlosion, and the best way to accomplish that is hitting it with Espeon. If you crit this, I will be very happy.
Always makes for some really, really exciting moments.
Ow.
On some special defenses, you're also just like arranged to kill your Quell, and you have to like just risk killing it because not setting up place is so detrimental that you just go for it, and sometimes you kill yourself even because it's just a range. So
because our special defense is so high, I'm really not worried. I can just go all out on this Typhlosion. It will tank it, no problem.
oh yeah, no, you're gonna be fine setting up plays for this one. But if you're negative special defense, like if you're naughty, which is one of the good natures,
Not yet.
you can have problems setting up plays later.
Setting plays on a naughty is a headache. Hey, nice. Good. That's the first good crit we've had.
Okay, you'll have to see it. So yeah.
I didn't want to heal Espeon, but I'm going to because I'm worried.
Yep. Probably fine, just yet. So coming up next here is Scrub. Yes, that is the name of the trainer coming up here. And first we're gonna be seeing a cutscene. And the cutscene is interesting.
Ooh, very interesting.
Because it's not scripted. And it's gonna be in a battle between a Pikachu. So hopefully Pikachu wins.
Pikachu winning is the absolute worst.
So basically, this is a cutscene where Pikachu and Hippantop fight, and Pikachu can actually win. It's extremely unlikely to win, but it can. I've never seen it happen, but I just know it can. There's like a Japanese video of it happening that I've seen. Unfortunately, it's not gonna happen now because Hippantop didn't get static on turn 1. That's the only way it happens, pretty much. Pikachu getting crits and Hippantop getting static on turn 1.
The thing about Pikachu winning, because of the nature of what has to happen for the Pikachu to win, it's a very, very slow fight.
Yeah, it's also it's like extremely unlikely, so...
Please give me the good lead. That works. I can work with that.
It's not the end of the world, but preferably you see why not lead with either Geodude or Clamperl.
Why not lead is always good because why not is useless.
Yeah, because you can just ignore it, so it's just like not a Pokemon pretty much.
And we can YOLO this. Come on! Ah! That's a terrible range. With just one confusion.
Yep. Hopefully Quill doesn't crit here.
Yeah, Quill's fine.
Yep, actually very good. You want Quill on low HP, because it gets its place, which means kill why not later on, and it's just nice to have for later on, because we're going to be manipulating Blaze HP coming up on Mount Battle, which is the next area we'll be going to. So being low HP for that also really helps. for when we get Typhlosion.
Yeah, because Typhlosion is because we are going to get a bunch of levels. And as we gain levels, this Kulava will actually regain some HP. If it maintains Blaze, even after evolving, that's the best thing. But even if it just stays close to Blaze, that's already pretty good.
So yeah, ideally, Geodude leads with ideally Geodude or Clamperl leads with Why Not, because Geodude and Clamperl both die to a +1 confusion. So what'll happen is that you just kill off the Geodude and then you just boost and kill off Hitmontop later on, and you don't have to go for that terrible range. But
Not really, do you? No. Okay. Yeah, that's a good scrub.
yep, that's pretty much as good as it gets with that lead. So Kulava being anti-HP is also very nice. So gonna make it easier to get into place, manipulate place.
I'm not battle.
This game's just like so much, very much, or Map Battle is very much routed around manipulating Blaze HP
Yeah.
for quite a few of the fights.
You have to improvise so much on this game based on the nature of your Quilava, the stats of your Quilava, if you can get Blaze or not, if you are in Blaze or not, if you're going to die on the next fight because you are in Blaze or not. There's so many things that can happen. You have to adapt to every single one of them.
Which is what makes this game super interesting to run, because every run feels very different. And also why this game has a lot of like... It's hard to call it replayability, but it's more like rerunability. Like, even if you're not playing for a PB anymore, running Colo is still fun, which is something I don't find a lot of speed games have. Like, if in some of my other games, like XD or Hat, if my run is dead, I don't want to continue it. But in this game, you're just like, oh yeah, it's still interesting to continue because this run is going to be totally different from another run.
Yeah, I've even tried running Quilavas with lower special attack and see what happened. And those runs died not because of the Quilava had lower special attack, but just because I was unlucky in a lot of different places. So... This is where I usually do this shop. Let's do one.
So yeah, we're gonna get someone super potion here because it's particularly important for one fight coming up on Mount Battle. Where we manipulate place HP with it. We take a dig intentionally on Typhlosion just to get hit back into Blaze. Usually it's fine to super potion that. If you're very low defense, you usually have to hyper it. So
This one's defenses are fine.
yeah, so you should be in good supering.
High. This is a very bulky Quilava, 29 defense.
Oh yeah,
It
that's
just has
very
low
good.
HP. It just has low HP.
So obviously you risk getting crit, but you risk getting crit on a lot of fights, so just don't get crit.
Just don't get crit. Oh, I don't think it was registered as red. Yeah, it wasn't.
So basically, there's email. If you go too fast out of the email, it's not going to register that you've actually read the email. And the next cutscene that plays is contingent on you having read that email. So
This
yeah,
game's fun like that sometimes.
yeah, it's well made.
I was going to Mount Battle. I can't go to Mount Battle. I need to purify this thing.
Yeah, I was just going to remind you that, hey, you need to purify, because you can... It's not the end of the world if you have Quilava for the first fight, but you don't want an unpurified Quilava for the first fight, that's for sure.
For sure.
Even though you're in Blaze, so it wouldn't be that bad. You're gonna be out of Blaze after purification, though.
Yeah. So this is 20. No, it's not 21 because the Apom didn't die. It's 20 something.
27? Like 20 and 700, I think. No, 28. Okay.
it's very likely that you have a Typhlosion by the time you're out of Agate, but there are some situations where you will be stuck running with a Quilava for the first few fights of Mount Battle.
Some natures get very late experience and have to do one fight with Quilava in Mount Battle, and sometimes you just get unlucky and Quilava dies and loses out on experience and you have to play with Quilava for a few fights. For the first few fights, it's generally fine to run Quilava, even though it's a little bit slower.
Thankfully, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, no, we're completely fine.
Yeah, this was pretty easy to purify.
And hopefully it's gonna be pretty easy to set up Blaze coming up here, hopefully. Not gonna get too unlucky. You're just one hit away, so... Shouldn't be the end of the world.
3 HP away, I think.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Ideally, you're still in Blaze after Purification. But it's kind of rare to get knocked into that kind of HP range.
If you get knocked on that HP range, it's just as likely that you die to triple kick. There's nothing else that's not during scrub that will put you there.
Yep. So, just, you generally just have to get lucky to get that, and unfortunately we didn't get that this run. It does feel great if you get it, but it's just so, like, obscenely unlikely. I've had it, like, a couple of times only, I think.
Just in case this Numble decides to be a prick. I hate this Numble.
This novel is fun.
It does what you're supposed to do.
It has magnitude, and when you want magnitude, it will stomp you. And when you want stomp, it will magnitude you. In an endless cycle of pain.
Ugh. 25. 25. How much HP do I have? I'm 2 HP away from Blaze, which is nothing.
So yeah, this novel is also a range to die. Hence the double target. The Pokemon coming in is guaranteed to die to Flame Wheel at least. So that's why we double target Numble, so this Sentry immediately dies when it comes in if you actually get the range.
That's not enough. That's not Typhlosion. Ah, it's the second time in a row that happens. Just keep it alive to see if it will target Typhlosion next turn. If it uses Dig, this will bite me back in the ass, but it's just a slower fight. That doesn't mean Typhlosion will die.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Please go on the Typhlosion. Hey, we're in Blaze now. Easy.
Very good. Pretty high Blaze too.
Yeah.
So.
Just heal the Espeon and use Return to kill it. This is like the perfect setup for the first fight on Blaze.
Yep.
And this guy does not troll you.
Yeah, this guy can troll really hard. It's not that uncommon to just die on this fight because of the Numble in particular.
Yeah. I have a really good highlight where I lost 2 minutes on this fight to the Trapinch. This was so bad.
Yeah.
I got the normal range, the Sandshrew dies, and then I have the worst luck on Trapinch. Alright,
So,
because our special attack is kinda low, we are probably going to miss a lot of the ranges in here, but we'll see.
It's fine, but yeah, you'll probably get a couple of them. The Sandshrew ranges in particular are kind of bad. So, or the Sandslash ranges, I mean.
Yeah, the Sandslash.
So,
but the
you'll probably miss those, but you could get the ball tie ones. Especially
get the Spindle too.
Especially getting 37 here.
Nice, got it. We are at 108. Yeah, confusion. Minus 36 HP. This Larvitar isn't a range to that confusion, it never does confusion. It has to be double targeted to die.
This fight in general doesn't need you to be Blaze. It's okay if you are, doesn't need you to. It's a nice fight to set it up on though. The next one either doesn't really need to be Blaze. There's only really one fight here that strictly requires Blaze. But there are a lot of the fights that are very, very convenient to have Blaze for. But the only one that strictly requires it is the 9th fight of Mount Battle.
The second to last fight, if we count the boss, but yeah.
The last normal fight of Mount Battle, yeah.
Yeah, what are the ranges on those? Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to worry too much about it, especially since you had Tesla XP.
If I had bought the calcium, I would have guaranteed it, but
Yeah, I mean, you have save states, so you can just risk it.
yeah. I mean, if we die, I don't know if I bite the bullet and just lose the 2 minutes. It's a marathon run, so it's not that big of an issue. But
It's not bad. It's not that bad.
Vibes hurts.
So yeah, definitely some explosive fights coming up, for sure.
Hey, another good crit. And this with return too.
Oops, sorry.
Imagine a modest Espion killing things with return.
Yeah, you'll have to see it.
I'd love to see it. Alright, so this next fight gives a Psybeam, which is way better than Confusion.
Absolutely. Psybeam is super nice. In XD, we actually skip over Psybeam because Hidden Parapsychic is God item.
Yes.
But for this route, we teach Psybeam because it's just very, very good. A big upgrade on Confusion at this point.
And very, very good until we get Psychic. Okay, and because we didn't miss experience on Espion anywhere, we can just, we guarantee to hit level 36 here. If we had lost experience somewhere on Espion, we would have probably have to do a backup strat. Because we need to have Psybeam for the upcoming Graveler.
Yep. So yeah, this is the Rider Raiden fight, as you said. Good name.
Rider Raiden.
One of my favorites for sure. Team Snake and Biden, Rider Raiden, Hunter Weeg. A lot of good ones.
I was having fun with the names on the Mount Battle too. Or story mode.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of good names when you're just like doing Mount Battle
when
for.
You're fighting the tower.
Yeah, when you're doing 100% or you're just playing casually, there's like a bunch of good names.
Yeah. Giga hole. This Handauer just does whatever it wants. As long as it doesn't burn Espion, it's fine.
Even if it burns, you're okay. It's just slow.
But slow.
There's a more annoying hand there coming up later, but that one's also good. It's not that bad. In general, Mount Battle is a lot easier than you would expect with Typhlosion, because Typhlosion and Blaze actually kills a lot of things that resists it, or that it's neutral to, so it's just like generally pretty okay. There are some rough fights, but overall it's okay. So, yeah.
I hate this. I don't want to see Lileep leech, and she almost always leads Lileep.
Ideally, you get the Barboach lead on this fight, which is the one we were talking about earlier with the Trapinches, where we take a dig intentionally. So yeah, with the leap lead, we have to take a dig intentionally. So yeah.
And even if you have the potion, which I do, you're not guaranteed to be hit into Blaze.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Yeah, it's actually a time where you don't want your Typhlosion to be too bulky, but you also don't want it to be too frail. So hopefully we get hit back into Blaze here, because it's just a super awkward HP where you're very high Blaze, so doing the super potion is actually gonna heal you into like an awkward range where it might not actually kill, so... So here's the Barboach. Sometimes that can lead, and it's a lot better.
There's a super potion. I would very, very much prefer to see the Barboach lead because you have to eat the Sandstorm turn, but it's only one turn. If you see Lily lead and you don't want to deal with getting hit with Dig, you have to eat 2 turns of Sandstorm because the Lily will always have to live.
Yep. Another reason why just having the Blaze is good.
Okay, that's not bad.
Okay, that's very good, yeah.
We can just machine.
20 HP is nice.
I'm gonna do the face strat on the spin though because I hate that spin.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I've been crit twice by that spin already, like no more. Please no more.
I don't think I've ever died on that fight.
I have. It's not great.
I can imagine.
And also the range sucks. What does it tell me the range is for the spin? 44%. Yeah, how about no? I don't want to get crit on the face. Again. Since the range doesn't exist the way I'm gonna do it, it sure doesn't exist. So if you're feeling very lucky, you can just flame will the spinda and pray to whatever god you believe in. But
I've never not done that. I always just flame will it.
I am just going to dig it.
So this is a safety strat. You can just flame will the spin down sometimes it kills. Depends on your special attack. It's not a great range. But even if you miss it, it usually doesn't kill you unless you get a crit. Then it does. But yeah, the tutorial for this fight is just to not get a crit.
Even when it doesn't kill you, it can also confuse you, and that's very awkward.
Yeah, in general, kind of trolly.
Yeah, the good thing about this Kadabra is it always opens future sight, so it can't really do anything to you.
If it didn't always open future sight, it would actually be very problematic.
Yeah.
But it's very nice that it does.
Flame wheel return.
So now Kadabra just dies here, and it's very nice. I'll be back in a moment.
So the next fight also has a very tricky range, but because all of these Pokemon only use Dig, we can just avoid their digs with our own. It's the Hunter Weeg, is another very fun name. What is the Hundour range? 24, so we died, it's fine. Vibravoli though means that we are going to play the Sand Slash range, but even if we miss it, the outcome is still the same. This guy always leads Graveler, then it can lead with either Sand Slash or Vibrava. Because Typhlosion can never one-shot the Vibrava, we just ignore it if he opens Vibrava and try to go for the Sand Slash. If we don't get this range, we just dig to avoid the Vibrava. Migas! To avoid the Vibrava dig and return the Sand Slash to kill it. And because we have the Sand Slash range, we can return the empty air as well, because that's faster than calling. And this is just to avoid Vibrava's own dig, because Vibrava has Levitate.
Yep.
They doesn't do anything.
The Sandslash range is lovely. You always love getting the Sandslash range. It's kind of bad, so getting it's just like very nice. I feel like I burn that Sandslash like an awful lot of the time. For some reason.
I think I get the range way more often than I burn it. I get that Sandslash range way too often.
Such a scam.
And then I have to return the nothingness. That's okay. Yeah, we give the experience share to Espeon. The experience share is a really broken item on this game.
Yeah. It gives extra experience. It's extremely useful.
Very, very useful. Just lets us get levels on Espeon that it really shouldn't have.
And the experience route in this game is actually extremely tight. So if Espeon even splits a little bit of experience, it's not going to get Psychic when we need it to get Psychic. And such, Espeon dying is pretty catastrophic. And at this point, it can't really get backed up because, well, there's an extra early rare candy strat they can do, but it sucks. So at this point, it pretty much can't get backed up that well. Because we have now equipped the share. If you lose out experience earlier with Espeon, you can actually back it up by just equipping the share earlier. But at this point, after we've equipped the share, Espeon pretty much just needs to live at all points.
This Hundour should always die. Yeah, missing Psychic is very, very bad. This does call us Foresight first, and then on the second turn it does something else that really doesn't matter, which is very nice. Makes it a non-factor on this fight. Can just, even if we never kill it Psybeam, it doesn't do anything either, so...
Yep.
Alright, time to blow up.
So yeah, this is the fun fight that everyone loves. And with everyone loves, I mean this is the worst fight of all time.
The worst fight of all time. So this guy leads 2 Geodudes, and both Geodudes queue up self-destruct. Espeon always guarantees his own kill, but Typhlosion's is a range. In this case, for this particular Typhlosion, it's a 94% range. It's a very good range, but it's still a range. And if we miss this range, I lose 2 minutes.
Yeah, and you cry.
And you cry. There is a safe strat, but I only go for it if the range is like 75% and under. And even then, you can get crit.
Yeah.
And you also just cry.
Basically, the safe strat is that you put Fossil into slot 1, and you growl. Fossil outspeeds Geodude, and then the growl makes sure that Espeon doesn't get one-shot by self-destruct.
I've missed worse ranges. Okay, not today. Alright, 9 Flame Wheels and 8 Psybeams, that's more than enough.
So yeah, you just helping hand and then Flame Wheel, Blaze kills here. And it's not even, well, it's guaranteed, so I was gonna say it's not even enough guaranteed. So yeah. So, pretty easy fight here as long as you get the range.
As long as you get the range, the Sandslash is a non-factor.
Yep. And then comes the Keem. The Keem's not bad. I think the Keem's probably one of the Keem one's probably the easiest.
The Keem
Admin
one
fight.
is definitely the easiest.
There's not really that much that can go wrong here. There are a couple of things. which I think both Pharaoh and Randall knows a lot about. But in general, this fight is pretty free. You don't actually...
As long as you guarantee that you can kill the Metang, and the Metang range is very similar to the Geodude's range, the Kim is fine.
Yeah, it's the best of the admin fights for sure. It's definitely better than Mirror B, and it's definitely better than Venus. Like Venus is the worst. So it's pretty free.
Because otherwise I'm gonna have to eat an earthquake. Okay, thank you.
I don't think I've ever died to the Keem actually. Yeah, it's generally very. It's okay. Like there are definitely a lot of ways in which the fight can go wrong, but if you know how to adapt to it, it's generally okay. And
I don't think I've lost runs to the Kim, but I've definitely had very scuffed to the Kims, and all of them were on me.
Oh yeah, no, I have had scuffed the Keems too. Like I've had a Keem where I got burned by Fire Blast and accidentally full healed for the special glitch.
I also do that, and then I got the range on the Entei.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's the worst.
So, stuff like that. Like, I've had scuffed games, but I don't think I've ever lost to the game. So, you're pretty unfavored to lose if you do everything properly. So, yeah. And there's also 2 elites that you can get into the Keem here, which is, I guess, one of the first fights. There's also Mary B, of course, and the Barbo is the elite one. But yeah, you can get different leads on this fight. One of leads is March Dump, and the other 2 leads are Camerupt and Golem. Camerupt and Golem lead are the same, but March Dump lead actually requires some different strategies.
Yeah, I'm actually a little worried that I won't outspeed this March Stomp because I have a very slow Typhlosion, but we'll see. But
I believe
even
you.
if we don't outspeed, it's fine as long as we don't die to the second mud shot. And dying to the second mud shot is annoying more than anything else.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fine. Doesn't really happen, so should be good.
I've also died to a crit Fire Blast twice in this fight. I've only ever seen this Entei miss Fire Blast once. And how many Fire Blasts do we miss, Typhlosion? Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure that you can't get outsped by Marshtomp, even after getting your speed reduced. Yeah, Marshtomp is very slow.
March Stomp is very slow then.
So yeah, this run, if you like gambling, you're gonna like this run because we do a lot of gambling.
Hey.
It's not quite as bad as Stadium, but it's still got some fun elements. Also, that Fire Blast did nothing.
That Fire Blast did nothing.
So yeah, now just X-Special Espion here and this Entei dies. You can go for a range here on this Entei, and just ignore the extra special attack here, but it's generally just not worth it unless you really need to save those frames.
Yeah, if you miss this range, and you have to pray for a miss, otherwise Espion's just dead.
Yeah. Or the Entei has like the worst imaginable special attack of all time.
And
Like this one.
And you get low rolled twice.
Yeah. Which is unlikely, to say the least.
Yeah, that's
So, yeah.
that's textbook to him.
Yeah, that's pretty much how the average the game goes. Again, not really that many things can go wrong. So especially if the fight is played properly, like even if things go wrong, as long as you play the fight properly, you're usually okay. There is just some very rare circumstances where it can. Usually, it's that you don't know how to adapt to the situations that happen on the game, like getting some unfortunate crits, like Metang critting Golem.
The reason why this fight is so consistent because the Kim strat is also very consistent. He will always protect with one Pokemon and Earthquake with the other, except if Marshtomp is on the field, because Marshtomp doesn't have Protect or Earthquake.
Yep.
And as long as you know which Pokemon is going to Protect and which Pokemon is going to Earthquake, then you can just play around it every single time.
Yeah, which is what makes the game so consistent. We also don't really need to hit any low accuracy moves yet, so there's no variance added from that either. We'll get to that, yeah. We're getting to that very soon. Anyone excited for fire blasting?
Ooh, no. Get me off the Fire Blast Wild Ride. Why did I ever agree to this?
You signed up for this.
I did. Just hit the Fire Blast, it's easy.
Yeah, 5%. Basically guaranteed.
It's 50%. You either hit it or you don't.
True.
So yeah, this is one of the things. No snags and Croc Route don't have to worry about its accuracy moves.
Which makes them quite a bit more consistent in that regard.
You know what? I'm going to grab these. These
They
take
revives?
yeah, they take forever.
Oh, they're so slow. I don't think I've ever grabbed these revives. Not even in the marathon, it's just illegally slow. It takes like 10 years.
It takes 10 years to grab them. That's not pirates.
Navigating on this map can be quite annoying. It's a lot more annoying in XD, but it's still annoying in this game.
Because XD has a lot more locations than this game.
And the 3D map is also just worse.
Yeah.
It's harder to like
To
hit
understand
the.
where you have to.
It's just harder to maneuver with a GameCube controller on that map. So yeah, gonna get the jail key here, rob an inmate, because you know that's what we do.
Mm-hmm. We are a very morally upstanding citizen, if you haven't noticed yet.
Blowing up buildings and robbing inmates.
Robbing Pokemon too.
True, but that's for a good cause.
True. Yeah, you never fight that girl, ever.
That is an optional, and if you tilt your stick even a little bit up, you're gonna hit that optional, and your run is dead, pretty much. So don't do that if you ever intend to run this game. Literally, just don't hold up. Or the actual reason people usually hit her is not because they hold up when they're walking over there. It's because they hit up too early. Because she has quite a bit of a range to the side still, and you can still get seen by her if you go up too early. So I know several people have hit her in that regard, and that's usually the most common one. Because holding like straight sideways on a GameCube controller isn't that hard. Because of the notches.
Alright, so I know that I have enough flame wheels and side beams to do Venus without having to restore PP. Usually, if you don't have enough, you have to take the Hotel Hill, but because I know I have enough, and both Typhlosion and Espeon are okay, and I have more than enough potions, I'm just not going to. Also, bye, Ray. Was that the first ditch, Ray, that we did this run?
I think so.
I think so.
So Ditchery is a category extension, where basically what you do is that basically it's time from the start of the game to the first frame where Rui is off screen, and there's actually a really hard strat to get rid of Rui.
Yeah,
you
but
do.
that's Fanac.
Yep. So you kind of get Rui stuck on something, but it's actually really, really tricky. So yeah, no, I think Capital practiced a lot to get that down.
Mm-hmm. God gamer right there.
Absolutely. Capital is a god gamer. Also working on secondary manip for Quillop and Tedu.
Yeah. Those sound pretty hard though.
Yeah,
Even
I think that's a lot of work.
Because you have to maintain the same RNG for the entirety until you get the Quilava.
Yeah, and you have to make them RTA viable so that they can actually be performed in runs and not just a task.
Yeah, they have done that in tasks, but not RTA viable yet.
So it's gonna be hyped to see that play out. I can't wait.
Need to do a whole bunch of stuff on the under.
Yep.
Before we can actually even think about fighting Venus.
Yeah, there's a lot of like walking around in the under here.
Also, the guys who fight Cypher other than us is a bunch of kids.
Yep. And we see these guys later on in XD, and they actually have quite an important role to play in those games.
Hmm.
And they're a lot older, and they run their own BS.
Yeah, they run the news network. On this game, they're just a bunch of kids who know if something is wrong with the world, and they're the only ones who are trying to do stuff.
Yeah, that's them and us. So yeah, Silva's gonna get jailed here. Basically, Silva gets jailed on accusation of being us, in a way. Because there are intruders in the under. But he's gonna have picked up something, an item here that's gonna come in very handy. Which is the RA disc. It's what allows us to fight Venus pretty much. And now we're gonna go shopping. So remember when we said we needed money? Yeah, we're gonna need money here.
Not that. So if you have a runnable hidden power for Kulava, this is where you have it. My Kulava has hidden power bug, so it's obviously not useful.
Yep. Also, you can see that daspharaoh is on the PAL version here because the TMs are in order. If you're on NTSC, the TMs here are not in rising order. And also, we get the TM38 for Fire Blast, and we get the TM17, which two of TM17, which is Protect. And then we get Hidden Power for Espeon, which is going to be Hidden Power Grass, which is super, super useful.
Yeah, with Typhlosion's fire moves, it's very, very good coverage.
And since all of these battles are double battles, we can abuse the AI for a lot of fights. And that is what Protect is so handy for. Because we always know what's going to be targeted in pretty much every scenario. We can make the AI target, for example, target Typhlosion, and then just sweep with Espeon, for example. And we can let it target it because we have Protect, etc. Stuff like that, which is very convenient. So yeah, we're going to be teaching Fire Blast every Sunday here, and it's time for the roulette to start. And then we just use our disc here, which is going to allow us to travel on the disc at the center of the under, over to the right side. And that's literally what it stands for, the right disc. So yeah, gonna head to the right here, and we're gonna be able to fight Venus now. My least favorite fight in the game.
Most important chest in the entire run, or one of the most important chests in the entire run. That would be a very cool thing, photo.
It's very convenient that those rare candies are just sat there. Usually you have to go more out of your way to get rare candies, so it's very nice that they're just there.
Vileplume lead is, I think it's the best lead in terms of safety.
It's the slowest lead.
It's the slowest lead, but if you miss Fire Blast, the worst thing that happens is Espeon gets attract.
I mean, getting attracted is kind of bad.
Yeah.
I hate this fight. I hate Vileplume lead. Vileplume lead sucks. It's kind of safe-ish, but it's just so slow.
Alright. Just hit the Fire Blasts.
It began.
Just hit the Fire Blast. Oh boy! Okay, backups.
Starting off with a mess.
Starting up with a miss. Protect, puzzle. Sorry, you are going to be sacrificed in the name of Fire Blast misses.
So this is what happens when you miss Fire Blast. You have to do very slow backup strats on an already slow lead. So it's just like an absolute nightmare. Like, I would probably just reset my run if this happened to me on this fight. It's just so bad. So yeah, so the AI uses Earthquake here because Wild Plume is not in kill range from one Earthquake. The AI will never Earthquake if it kills its own ally. So let's say that Wild Plume was half HP here, or like a little under half HP here. Steelix would not Earthquake, because that would kill Wild Plume. But yeah, now Wild Plume is kill range from one Psybeam, that's not boosted. So we just Fire Blast Steelix, which is guaranteed to kill if it hits, and we Psybeam the Wild Plume here, and it's guaranteed.
If we miss this Fire Blast, I don't think that the Steelix Earthquake, so...
No, I don't think it does either.
It's
Usually we'll taunt.
Annoying.
If you're like max defense, you can actually live an Earthquake from Steelix. Which is funny. Because then you get placed and then you can just flame with it.
Wait, how do I kill this Bennett?
You Fire Blast it.
And protect with Espion?
Yes.
YOLO. If not, I think I'll double target it. The worst thing that can happen is we get surfed again, which is whatever.
Surf is not going to do that much on this Typhlosion.
Yeah. Surf is not going to do anything on this Typhlosion. I think you need to be boosted to kill this Bennett.
Yeah, but it's fine. Well, that's a high attack. That's high special attack. Suicune.
Special attack Suicune. But the Typhlosion probably lives and let's know the crit.
Yeah, you don't play around the crit here, so...
Yeah. Just don't get crit and it's easy.
Yeah. I forget if you have to be boosted or not to kill that Bennett, but yeah, you have to.
I don't think X-Special Psybeam kills the Bennett. X-Special Fire Blast kills the Bennett.
Yeah, you need to take Special Fire Blast and risk missing. It's the normal strat, I think.
Revive. And the Suicune dies now. So, slow backup fight, but still a win. That's what matters. This is the joys of missing Fire Blast.
Yep.
The joys of missing Fire Blast.
So yeah, that's Venus. This fight sucks. Because it's the first fight you use Fire Blast, you need to hit
and it's
quite
one
a few
of the
of
most
them.
important fights where you do not want to miss Fire Blast.
Yeah, and it's just so infuriating and slow if you miss it, but we were able to back it up pretty okay enough. And, but yeah, if you didn't hit that Fire Blast on the Banata, it could have been bad.
And now we chase bootleg Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
And we have 4 more fights to go through before we can go to the next place. And these usually aren't too bad, but there are a couple that suck if you miss Fire Blast, so...
Yeah, there's some variants here, but overall they aren't the worst.
Yeah. We have high defense on Espion and very high special defense on Typhlosion, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, there's one fight in particular that's pretty annoying. With Dunsparce, once again. And you'll get paralyzed very often on that fight, and there's also an artillery range there. What hidden power do you have?
70.
70? Okay, so artillery is a good range.
That's a very good range. It's a very good range.
The artillery, the artillery will Octazooka you if you miss the range on it, and getting Octazooka on Typhlosion is really bad because you need to hit Fire Blast on that fight as well. So with an Octazooka accuracy drop, you're extremely I would say extremely unlikely to hit, but you're not very likely to hit the Fire Blast at all. So it's super troll.
Oh yeah, rip Teddy Ursa. It will forever be missed.
Unrunnable bear anyway, Samurai.
Migash! Oh, this Gligar dies. So this Gligar is arranged to get 2 hit KO'd by Psybeam and Flame Wheel, but this looks pretty good.
Nice. Gligar doesn't always die there, so... Because of, again, the variance in Shadow Pokemon styles.
I am going to heal the Espeon now, because the next fight is very Monka. There is a Shadow Stantler, and he hits like a truck.
Usually you're fine though. Just don't get crit.
Just don't get crit.
That's the name of the game.
That's the name of the game. We want to crit things, we don't want to get crit in turn.
We want to crit everything that's not Typhlosion. Then we want to not get crit at all.
What is Frenna doing? Frenna jobbed. That's what she's doing. I don't know what's worse. Hang on. I think these two ranges are gonna suck, honestly. 50% on return, and 50% on Flame Wheel. Alright, who do we believe in more, Espeon or Typhlosion?
Always believe in Typhlosion.
Always believe in Typhlosion.
Never believe in the Espeon return range and Curlia. It's just illegal.
But if you have a 31 attack rash... When does that happen, though?
Never.
Never.
Getting the Curlia range is a lie.
Getting the Curlia range is a lie. Yeah. Unlucky. It doesn't do anything, it just calm minds, but you
It's
know.
just an extra animation. We
It's
talked about earlier, it's very slow to get extra animation, so you'll love getting it, but
So
we also take
at
it.
least I don't have to worry about hitting a Fire Blast on the Stantler.
oh yeah, no, having to the Fire Blast on a Stantler is not fun.
I've had Stantler miss 3 takedowns in a row. That was pretty funny. Not on the same run, obviously. But it missing is just ideal. Because it's a healing item you don't have to use. And also no animation. But unlikely.
Yep.
Or you can just crit Psybeam. You try it.
I've accidentally returned the Stantler before, and that was not great. Also, it outspeed. Yeah, you're so low speed that it outspeeds you. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no. This Typhlosion is going to be outsped by everything.
Yeah, by everything that's like can outspeed it.
Funny. I should have healed. Oh well, it's fine. We'll leave. I'll let the fight.
Eh, it's whatever. I was not that likely to live there.
No, it wasn't.
It's a specially defensive Stantler. I could have figured though, because the Psybeam didn't do that much either.
Did less than half. But I usually do that. Rui, please, you're not helping. Alright, these next 2 fights we need to hit Fire Blasts. And they suck if we miss them. I'm just gonna do this in case I have to use my entire roster of full heals and paralyzed heals. Unless it's not a continually lead.
So yeah, just hit Fire Blast on that fight. Pretty much what you want to do. Get the artillery range.
Yeah, if like hitting the Fire Blast on the Mask Range is absolutely the most important thing. Afterwards, like everything is fine. Oh shit! Potent. You usually don't one-shot that on Spars.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
2 crits back to back. Okay.
Good Fire Blast hit. Very, very useful to hit that.
Yeah.
Very annoying if you don't, because the Mescaline stun spores you.
And we might get a 2-turn fight if we hit this Fire Blast and the range.
Getting a 2-turn on this fight is nutty.
Yeah. Nice.
Very good.
Hey!
Yep, that was pretty much perfect.
That's a perfect Lonia.
You'll love to get this fight perfectly.
Yeah, that's so rare. Because you have to crit the Dunsparce. It never dies. That would have been a gold if I had my splits running, for sure.
Right, do you split for fights individually?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you do, right? I forgot.
I'm not gonna do that for Hundo, but I do it for every single other category.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's always nice to like conceptualize the time loss in this game, so it can be a pretty useful tool.
So, yeah, I don't need to heal anybody because nobody got hurt. So if I just Sneasel, that's fine. Alright, this fight sucks. Most of the fights on this game suck, to be fair.
Yeah, you can pretty much say that about like every fight. Every fight.
Here the problem is the Sneasel, and more than Sneasel, it's the Loudred.
I really say like honestly, the Keem is a better fight than like this and the last one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This one isn't the worst, but the one before this, nightmare fight.
Yeah, the Loudred is... I hate that Loudred with a passion. Okay.
Nice.
One more Fire Blast left to hit here. But because the Loudred is going to be the last thing standing, if we don't get this one, it's fine, it's just annoying. Okay. So far only one Fire Blast missing. Which is fine, all things considered.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, you absolutely take that.
Alright, so we're done with Undercell. Now we need to do a bunch of other story triggers before we can continue. Basically, Venus is going to be a dumbass. She's going to tell us we can't lead them to the lab, and then she drops her keys and lead us exactly to the lab.
Very convenient for us. Very inconvenient for Team Cypher.
Yes. Don't you dare forget about me!
We'll be seeing all of the admins again later, as we mentioned earlier, so... Luckily, Venus's second fight, like the second fight versus Venus, isn't that bad.
Eh. Depends if you hit the Fire Blast or not! But yeah, missing a Fire Blast on Venus too. Like, Typhlosion is going to die, but you can get him back pretty easily, and also use Venus's AI to get him straight back into Blaze.
So yeah, now we're gonna be seeing more explosions. You should probably be used to that from the starting cutscene of this game.
Yeah, these two don't exaggerate one bit trying to stop us from getting into the lab. They don't just create a crater.
So yeah, we can't cross there now, and we're gonna have to grab this key over here instead. Take the long way around. Imagine if we could just walk across there. How much time would that save?
Oh, so much time saved, especially because you have to go there anyway.
It would be so convenient. Unfortunately, we cannot.
Just mod the game, Kappa.
Sure, just remove animations while you're at it, honestly.
Just remove animations while you're at it.
But the routing for this game would be so boring if we had no animations, because it's so routed around animation.
That's
like
true.
honestly this game is better
If
because of
I
animation.
imagine maybe for alligator would be faster. Big
True,
maybe.
Randall.
Big maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Either way, it is what it is. We have to deal with it.
Yeah. Stairs!
So yeah, we're coming up on the second to last sort of area of the game, I should say.
Yeah.
Which is the Cypher Laboratories. Also, I can see that you're a stairs enjoyer, so a little fun fact about taking the stairs here. There are two options. You can walk up stairs, or you can take the elevator. Optimally, with perfect movement, you save about a second taking the stairs, but that is also optimal movement, and it's not that likely to actually perform optimal movement. Some people prefer to just take the elevator and relax for a little bit, because it feels quite slow to take the elevator, and it is. So yeah, some people take the elevators, some people take the stairs. Technically, it's optimal to take the stairs, but it's not like your run is that if you take the elevator.
For sure. There are way worse things that can happen than losing a second.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're just gonna go flip a switch here, open some stuff next door, and then head in.
Even to enter the lab, you have to go through loops.
Yep, it's quite annoying. So yeah, this is the building that we would end up in if we had actually been able to cross that bridge that got exploded on earlier. Because down those stairs that you see there is pretty much the area that we were in earlier by the train.
It ties the vault orbs.
So this is Researcher Myron. He has 2 vault orbs. This fight is free. There's not much to talk about here. You can use Fire Blast here if you want to, but why?
This Typhlosion speed ties I'm just going to protect.
Yeah, there's no reason to risk it.
There are 3 things you can do with Typhlosion. You can Fire Blast and hope you hit, you can dig and let Espion kill both of them, or you can protect and let Espion kill both of them. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. Obviously, Fire Blasting is faster unless you miss, then it becomes the slowest option.
Yep.
You're targeting Espion. I read it bad. I read it wrong. Yeah. Oops.
So these vault orbs will spark, unless Spark does less damage than Sonic Boom, and then they will Sonic Boom.
So I usually don't like unequipping the experience share, but I have to. Because with no spoon, we aren't guaranteed to get plays. I have to use the spoon.
So this is what we were talking about earlier. So you usually have the opposite problem where sometimes it's arranged to kill your Typhlosion, but specifically on Sassy, which is, I think, the only good plus special defense nature.
I think it is, yeah.
Specifically on Sassy's, you can end up with this problem, especially high IV Sassy's, where without the spoon you don't actually kill. And it's quite bad. So, yeah. The
big problem about not being able to keep experience share for one more fight is that you are not guaranteed to have level 50 for Dokkan 2, which makes a lot of ranges absolutely atrocious, especially if you get the most common lead.
Yeah, Cladle Flagon, which we'll hopefully not see, considering we will only be level 49. It's actually Flagon's actually still a range at level 49 with Psychic. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
I believe Shen gets it in his PB. The 49 Psychic range.
Oh, what a god gamer.
Yeah, you have to be really god gaming for that.
This is Remory Blitz, I'm going for the Fire Blasts.
So basically on this fight we'll perfectly level into getting Psychic after using the rare candies we picked up earlier. So you'll see how tight the experience route is by the end of this fight. Just look at Espion's XP.
Sometimes I look at that bar and I think there's no way he reaches level 44, and he always does. It's insane.
Yeah. It's by, I think it's by about like 100 XP. That you go into
Almost never Shadow Rush.
level 44. Yeah, that means Fire Blast is usually guaranteed though. Yep, good. Fire Blast is a range on A-Bomb.
The Psybeam is a 75% range on Furret. If I don't get and I've had the misfortune of not getting it when Furret was a lead, and he uses Rain Dance.
Yeah, that's not fun.
If you miss the range when on turn 2, it's whatever. But missing it on turn 1 is absolutely atrocious.
Yep, Rain is extremely slow in these games, so you hate to see it.
Okay, the Hail is fine. We can kill it with Psybeam and the Flame Wheel.
Yeah, it's still slow, but it's fine. You can probably keep the experience share now. You've taken some
Now.
damage.
A low roll for Psychic. It's 91. No, it's 84. Low roll is Psychic.
And what's your Typhlosion's HP?
39 for Blaze. 89. 30-ish? 40-ish. No, I can't. Alright, so you're level 44. Plus 3 Dark Candies means level 47. Which means
Then we get
Psychic.
Psychic. Which is extremely useful, and Fion's main attacking move for the rest of the game. And we're gonna teach Umber Psybeam, which might seem weird, because you would think that a low PP move like Psychic wouldn't be fine, and that we should probably keep the Psybeam for backup PP and stuff, but it's actually not needed at all. We have like a perfect amount of PP items that make sure just keeping Psychic is fine. Teaching over Psybeam is fast.
And all of Espeon's other moves are essential, basically.
Yep. So that's a DNA sample over there in the table that we can grab on the way out.
No, I'm not gonna save state this.
Yeah, you could. If you don't get a lever, you can set up plays.
The
Obviously,
thing is, if you save state at the start of the fight, the lead is already chosen.
Yeah, you need to do it before.
You need to do it before. So just don't crit Psychic. Or do, because we're not gonna outspeed the Murkrow.
Yeah, but you can do a safe strat for that.
Yeah.
So let's just hope this goes well. Because we're gonna be psychicing our own Typhlosion now for the first time. First psychicking, we have damaged our own Typhlosion before, but it's the first time we're psyching it. And it's always scary.
That's not a crit. That's Blaze. Okay. Perfect.
Good. Very good. Espeon did indeed play nice. You'll have to see it.
Okay. Yeah, no, we have to fight 2 researchers. Everyone else is a ninja. There is a strat designed by... I actually don't know who made it first, the Death Warp strats, but the one who implemented them first, I'm pretty sure it was Exarion, who uses them on his PB. Death Warping on the lab is common for no snags, but for any percent, it really wasn't done before Exarion tried it.
It's not really that fast anyways. It barely saves any time. And that is if it goes perfectly. So if it doesn't go perfectly, you lose time. So basically you can lose to these fights and skip them. That's pretty much the gist of it.
And our Nuzleaf. Yeah, Death Warp is pretty good on those nabs.
Oh yeah, it's
the
very
calculations
fast.
are way slower. But for any percent, it's way more risky to go for them.
It's just like very low payoff versus hitting those snacks where it's very fast.
Okay, and here we just get the 2-hit KO on the Murkrow. Otherwise we cry. Our modest Espeon has pretty high attack, so it's likely I'm going to get 2-hit KO, but it's a shadow Pokemon. If it has high defense, Typhlosion is just dead. Because the big problem about this Murkrow, it has Nightshade.
Hopefully we're gonna be fine though.
Hey, perfect. I don't even
Oh,
need to play
very
real,
extremely good crit.
No, because
Extremely good crit. I have a package delivery that's like arriving in a second, so I'm gonna need to jump out for like a minute pretty soon.
Alright, that's fine.
But it's gonna be like, I'll make it as quick as possible. It's not gonna take long. So yeah, that's there. Usually this fight goes fine. Sometimes it can go badly. It's usually if you miss Fire Blast on Murkrow, or if Murkrow outspeeds you and you don't get the 2-hit KO pretty much. So yeah, we already have 2 DNA samples, so now we don't need any more. Pretty much there's a puzzle at the end where you need to use 3 DNA samples, but it's faster to just guess correctly. Anyways, back in a minute.
Or Zubat. You normally never ever have to worry about this fight, but there is one lead where your Typhlosion might die, and I got that lead once and Typhlosion missed the Fire Blast. But this fight is usually just hit the thing with the thing is weak to, except the Zubat. But he can lead with 2 Pokemon that the Typhlosion can't kill, and in that case you just have to hit the Fire Blast. Rather, the Typhlosion can't kill with Flame Wheel. Other than that, it's very straightforward. I just kill the Fortress and kill the Swablu. The good thing about these ninjas that drop from the ceiling, they never stay to talk to you after the fight is over. And you can only skip the ninjas if you do Death Warp strats. If a trainer stays after the fight, then you have to win in order to be able to progress.
There's a handful of tough fights in here for Palavo, but if you're able to keep your wits about you and able to hit that Fire Blast, you're good.
Let's see if there's a... Oh, there's a sample there. I'm gonna grab that one. Yeah, this is the second fight where you can go for the Blaze, because we already have it. Obviously, I'm not going to go for it. And this is one of the safest fights to go for Blaze, because none of these things can really kill you, and if you don't kill the Rhydon, its dig is a very nice way to get knocked into Blaze. This Espeon is being an absolute murderer with all these crits. Yeah, people who know me know that I also play Lightning Returns, and Lightning Returns has something very similar to this keypad. It has a phone, and you know 2 numbers on the phone. You need to get the other 2, and it's not fun. nobody likes the guesswork for the phone. It's way worse than in this game because you have to guess 2 things instead of just 1. To the point where runs reset there. Thankfully not the case here. I'm going to grab that full restore as a safety precaution. And I almost never hit this fire blast for some reason. Very high special attack Typhlosions can go for this Vigoroth instead of having to go for the Gramble. But my special attack isn't high enough for that, I have to go for the Gramble. And let Espeon kill the Vigoroth. And even if you hit, if this Gramble is specially bulky, you're just not gonna kill it. I've had it happen once, it's very fun. Usually you target things with Blaze Fire Blast that don't die to Psychic. And this Gramble is one such cases. It can die to Psychic, but it's a worse range than Fire Blast. Alright. Because we have Blaze, we don't need to set it up on the next fight, which is very nice. There is still one more ninja left, but this would be the last fight you'd die to on Death Warp strats. After this, it's just better to win every single fight. Alright. I leave. Lava. Oh, I thought it would be the 3 starters. Okay. Believe Lava and Suicune. So this is the last possible chance you have of setting a place. Thankfully, we don't need to worry about it. No. There we go. Thankfully, we don't need to worry about having to get knocked into Blaze here, so we can just kill everything and move on. Ideally, we keep Blaze from here all the way until the end of Ralgam Tower and going into Ralgam Coliseum, but we need to be very lucky and I need to play very well in order to be able to keep Blaze for so long. This Ampharos is arranged to die to Psychic. It's always better if you get it, but if you don't, it's fine. As long as you don't get the static trigger. Which we didn't. Really nice. Now, we did the entire lab. We have to finally start using recovery items for our PP. Oh, also, we are going to have a very annoying alarm for the rest of the lab until we get out of here. So, restore Fire Blast and restore Psychic, and we can move on. So this fight has a very important Pokemon we need to keep track of, which is the Kadabra. We have good special attack, so Kadabra should always die to Flame Wheel, but the thing is, we aren't faster than this Kadabra. So we are going to have to use Espion to kill it. So in a normal situation, this fight would always take 2 turns, especially if she leads Kadabra, but this is fine. So this Kecleon is arranged to die to Fire Blast, but he can do 2 things. He can use Dig, or he can use Strength. The spreadsheet also tells you what he's going to use, and most of the time he uses Dig, which allows you to just get out of the way in case bad things happen. Just makes the fight slower, but at least you don't ever lose Typhlosion.
Yeah.
Which is the case here. So we'll just kill the Swallow. And then we kill the Kecleon.
So yeah, that's an okay Remel right there.
Yeah, that was okay, Rebel. Out of all the Fire Blasts to miss, that's one of the most benign.
Yeah, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. So you definitely, if you're gonna miss Fire Blast, that's definitely one of the fight. Oh, first try, or did you? No.
I did. It was on the room before, after the guy with the Grovile
Okay.
spotted it before the fight, so I decided to just go for it.
Makes sense, yeah.
Okay, Wobbuffet lead is by far the safest. Because you can miss all the Fire Blasts you want on this Wobbuffet, and it's totally fine!
Yeah, because we're Wobbuffet's just mirror cards, and it's very nice.
So this is one of the few situations where we special the Typhlosion. And that's just to guarantee that the Wobbuffet will die.
Yep. It's just very, very nice, and in general, this fight is a lot less bad than the first Scrub fight. Because if you didn't realize, this is again this is Scrub V2, except that this time he's pretty much a pushover. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much to this fight. You kind of just let this Wobbuffet live, and then you kill the other Pokemon. There's a Graveler here that you just kill with Hidden Power Grass, since it's a free thing in a world.
Yeah.
So this is the best Fire Blast to miss. Like, if you were gonna miss one Fire Blast, it's this one.
It's this one.
Because you never get punished.
Consequences.
And yeah, this is the final fight before Ein. So get ready, because you're gonna have to do slower than Golbat strats.
Yes. We die to Pursuit?
I don't have the damage sheet open, but I doubt you die to Pursuit.
25? No, I don't think so. I think we're dead to fly. I think we have 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fine. I don't need to do anything. Didn't miss fire. We missed one Fire Blast, but I only also used 2, so... Alright, slower than Golbat. So if you're faster than Golbat, you can kill the Golbat with Typhlosion. Because we're slower, we are going to have to use Espion to kill everything here. Until Golbat. Oh, this is straightforward. Perfect. 25, okay, I'm dead to fly, not to pursue.
Yeah.
Kill the Huntail. So this fight changes based on what thing Altaria does kills you. She can kill you with two things. Try to kill you with two things. Pursuit and fly. It will use pursuit if it calculates that if you switch, the pursuit will kill you. Roll that. Because if you don't know how Pursuit works, Pursuit will deal double damage if it's used on a Pokemon that is going to switch out. And it has priority over switching out in that case. It's the only move that works that way. So
If you don't... Yeah. So something I found out during this fight in the marathon run is that if you don't have any alive party members, Altaria will toxic you.
Oh, that's interesting. That's a very low psychic roll.
That is a low psychic roll, yeah.
Okay.
But you should still be fine.
Modest. Yeah, it's trying to fly. So protect. I have to X special here, otherwise Raikou is a terrible range.
Yeah, no, this Raikou is not a good range without that. It can die like most Shadow folks, but it's just like too unlikely to ever want to go for.
Kill Raikou. Falling here because next turn Altaria is going to fly again.
Yep. And we get to kill Raikou here for free. And then Altaria is just not...
flies, we have to miss a turn.
Yeah, that's kind of why this is very slow, but it's safe, so...
It's very free. It's a very free fight.
You take the safety for sure, even though it's kind of slow.
Okay.
So yeah, once we're done with Ein here, we're gonna be entering the final area of the game, which is Railgun Tower.
Claydol Flagon, leave!
So since we're not level 50 here, we're just gonna have to hope that we don't get Claydol Flagon lead on the first fight, which is our refight with the Keem. It is the most likely lead combo, so we might be in for some pain here, but we hope that we'll be alright in general. The risk here is keeping Blaze, because Claydol Flagon isn't that bad of a combo if you're not in Blaze. But when you're in Blaze, it's real bad if you get it and you're not level 50 on Espeon. Which is the scenario here.
Sometimes just cries because you missed the range on the Flygon.
Yeah, Flygon's still 75% range at level 50, so it's not even guaranteed then. So anyways, if anyone wondered why it took so long to get my packages, it's because they lost my package. So I am angry.
Oh wow.
So
That's horrible.
yeah, I'm in a not good mood. So I've been contacting the customer support while commentating.
Yeah, my boyfriend also lost a package recently and he was not happy about it.
Yeah, it's not great. It depends. Sometimes it depends what they lost. It's not the end of the world or anything. It's just so frustrating. Exactly, Randall. They're too busy watching the run to actually keep track of if they actually have my package or not.
Alright, we are fine on healing, so I'm just going to buy a couple more hyper potions. We have like 1,000,000 revives.
Yep. Should be getting revives. So just gonna do a little bit of walking here because we need to, for story reasons. Wish we didn't have to, but...
Before we can go to Relgum Tower, we have to talk to Net.
Yeah, if we don't talk to Net here, like, Relgum Tower is still gonna be unbuilt. Which is funny. This cutscene triggers the building of an the finishing of an entire construction.
This is a safety shop, you don't have to take this, but, you know. Ralgam Tower can be doozy.
Yeah, a lot of things can go wrong in real game. For sure. But hopefully nothing will.
I don't even think I need to heal anybody. Oh, I need to Ether Psychic.
Yeah, you need to get the psychic.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, you don't need to do anything else. And then we just cross here with the F desk and we're good to go. So yeah, that's the final shopping, that's the final cutscenes. We're now entering the final area of the game. And it can get pretty dicey in here. There's not that many fights, but the fights in general are pretty bad.
Yeah, this is where the fights get really hard.
There's a lot of fire blasts, and a lot of variants, and some weird AI quirks that can end up hurting you here. So usually your pulse is pretty high when you're entering this part of the run, cause and you're on PB pace, cause
so many things can go wrong here, all the way until the final fight.
you really want to play perfectly, and even then, you can just get fricked over by a bad RNG. So
Getting crit on Evis means you lose 15 minutes.
yeah, getting crit on Levi's isn't great. It's better than dying on NASCAR. So the final boss, for the final boss of this game, if you die on him, it's kind of bad, but not the worst. But if you die on the fight before, you actually have to redo an entire gauntlet of trainers. So don't die on him. So yeah, let's see what lead we get here.
Okay, that's fine.
Anything that's not Claydol Flygon is fine.
Yeah.
So Claydol Wishcast, you definitely take that any day of the week. Way better than Flygon here. Then you have to go for the Scuffed range.
Wait, you're supposed to protect, mister. And
I love it when they-
everyone reaches level 50 after the first, always after the first kill, so the ranges that were spooky are now gone.
Yep. So that's why this lead is nice. So Typhlosion got Iron Swift now, like Espeon did at level 30, 20 levels ago. Oh, but yeah, now the fight is free from here, pretty much.
Yeah.
Not really anything that can go wrong.
Just don't take special the Typhlosion.
Well, yeah.
I don't think I've ever done that. I've done that on Umbreon, on no snags.
I don't think I've done it on the Keem either. I've done it on other fights.
Yeah, on level 49 this is a range and it's not a good range. That's why you really don't want to have level 49 Espeon for the start of this fight.
Yeah. You know, just Claydol Flygon's just such a bad combo to lead. It's so annoying.
Ah! The Fortress protected twice.
Gotta love the double protect.
Gotta love the double protect.
It doesn't really matter, it's just slow.
Yeah. I can mash A on the next turn. Hey!
Whoa. So here's the Entei, that was so scary earlier. Luckily it's level 40, so it's no longer scary.
No, it's just a scrub. Oh wait, that's the other guy.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Keem 2. The Keem 2 is like... I'd like to say the Keem 2 is scary, but it's not scary when you don't get Claydol Flygon lead. It's only when you get Claydol Flygon lead, which is the most common, that it's actually scary. And yeah, after this we're gonna be fighting the Salsa Man for a second time.
With no salsa.
Yeah, with no Salsa, it's so sad.
Okay, there
just
is
gets,
one,
just-
there is one mod that is necessary in this game. Put salsa on Mirror B2.
Unfortunately, Miraby just has the generic admin theme in this fight.
Yeah. It's the only one too. In all of
Yeah.
the others, it is also team. So I use 2 Fire Blasts. I have 1 Fire Blast from Irby. And what I really don't want to have to do is Fire Blast to 44 Ludicolo. I'm fine with everything else as long as I don't have to Fire Blast to 44.
Yeah, no. The Fire Blasting the 44 is sketch. Just because it doesn't dive. The other Ludicolo dives, but 44 doesn't. It waterfalls and, well, let's just say Typhlosion dies.
Low HP getting hit with a water move. Loudred, Witch of the Ludies. 45.
That's good.
Yeah.
This is fine.
So. Because this guy dives, it's a complete pushover.
Yep.
So it's very easy.
Just allows you to set up for free with Espion here, pretty much. Because that dive you can manipulate. Good thing
And
we have
I-
Protect.
I keep the 44.
Yep, and now the fight is just free from here, pretty much. Pretty much, like, not entirely, but it's hard to lose from here.
I can try really hard, but I don't want to.
A last attempt. So yeah, here's the 44. This is the one that uses Waterfall. But this for now +1 and we just kill it with Psychic.
And even if we don't kill the 45 with Fire Blast, it's just going to dive again, so it's not
And then we can just protect again, so this is why this fight is pretty free. And then last, he's gonna have the Pseudo Widow that he had earlier, which is absolutely the opposite of a threat. At level 35 it does absolutely no damage to us. And we just kill it with an HP Grass or Psychic.
Oh, missed the range, that's fine.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Just
This is why it's kind of dicey if you get the 44 lead.
Yeah, the 44 can also be a Fire Blast range.
Yeah, and if you miss Fire Blast on it, you just die. So, and then you cry.
And then you cry, because not having Blaze isn't the worst. Oh, it has Hyper Potions. Do you die to Flame Will Return?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so. Maybe you will.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I had no idea you had Hyper Potions. At least now I know I have three Psychics.
All of the admins have Hyper Potions, but they're not guaranteed to use them. Some situations they're more likely to do it than others, but they're never really guaranteed to do it.
I know Dakim has them because no snags. You have to play around that with Claydol.
Hypers can be super frustrating.
Yeah.
They can have it in 90% too. If you miss the Claydol range, it can Hyper Potion.
EU.
Yeah, it's not great.
I think the one time I have Claydol flag on and I missed the Claydol range, I just reset the run. I went to sleep.
Yeah, sounds like sounds like a good idea. I think I would do the same.
Alright, so there are two very easy fights coming up. We could set up Blaze on the first one because it's very free. We already have Blaze and we have pretty good HP for Blaze, so we're just gonna mow through these two guys.
Yep. No issues.
Like, one of them uses Ice-type Pokemon, the other one uses Grass. We have a Fire-type, just do the math.
Yeah, these fights are definitely the easiest fights in real game. There's not really much competition. They're just really free. They're also like a good opportunity to set up plays if you need to. So, in general, just like good vibes.
Yeah.
In these fights, you kind of just,
On
as
the
long as you choose the right moves, you can't lose on these fights.
Yeah. There is a very slow chance the Shadow Sunflora survives Flame Wheel and kills your Typhlosion, but you have to be exceptionally unlucky to have that good of a Sunflora that can actually kill you, because even if it survives, most of the time it can't kill you with Shadow Rush, so it will just use Solar Beam.
Yeah. So yeah, just play it correctly, and it's not an issue at all. Yeah, you gotta know your type charts. So
Type charts are going to be very important later on.
indeed. Also, yeah, but the fight coming up after these is the refight versus Venus, which the refight versus Venus is fine if you get the Wigglytuff range and you hit Fire Blast. Other than that, it's pretty trivial.
Yeah. It's another of those fights that you just get the range, smile.
Yeah, there's a lot of those fights in this game, which means inevitably most runs end up missing at least one Fire Blast. I think you are likely to miss at least 2 Fire Blasts throughout a run. I don't remember the stats on it, but I think it's 2. Missing 2 Fire Blasts is like
Average, yeah.
average, yeah. Usually you'll probably miss more, but just because you have to adapt to situations and stuff like that. But or if you're fire blasting Voltorb, that's 1 additional. Is it 3? I think it depends. If you use the minimum amount of Fire Blast, I think it might be 2. But yeah, it might be 3.
It's very rare that you use the minimal amount, though. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to Fire Blast the Sunflora. This Bellossom.
Mm. Yeah, I don't have your special attack on hand, so I can't tell. But either way, it's
On the other hand, I don't think the Bellossom kill. Yeah, the Bellossom doesn't kill Typhlosion.
It's all about missing the Fire Blast on the correct fight. Venus is not one of them. Venus 2 or Venus 1.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially 1, but Venus 2 is also awful to miss on. But it's kind of easier to back up. Typhlosion loses some XP, but that's about it. It's not the run killing, just time losing.
Like, dying on this fight, on all of these fights loses time, but very rarely loses you the run.
Yeah. Iron is really bad if it goes bad. If you get toxic from Rhydon, it's so slow.
Fire Blast Psychic.
So just hit. This is a fine lead because you're guaranteed to kill Raichu. I take this lead any day of the week.
Oh, I
quick.
could have gone for the Flame Wheel. We leveled just in time for the Flame Wheel. Oh well, it's fine, just hit that! Fuck. We don't die. Yeah, we don't die. But, this is awkward now.
Nice hit.
This is awkward now.
Now you just gotta hit through Attract.
Now we just hit through tract, otherwise, I don't know, what happens? Okay, we're not gonna find out.
Sad. You die if you don't hit through Attract. Shocking, I know.
Shocking.
You're gonna get Suicune and Wigglytuff out at the same time now.
Oh shit, that's true. That's gonna be awkward.
No, it's gonna be fine, you just protect with Tie, and then
Yeah,
Psychic.
Implosion and kill the Wigglytuff. Yeah. Suicune, you could be a sweetheart and use Shadow Rush instead of Surf.
So just get the 75% range on the Wigglytuff here, and we should be fine. Otherwise, it's just a little bit more awkward. Still gonna be fine though.
Yeah. Z game. I don't know why we were worried.
Yeah, no. Attract, missing Fire Blast, Attract. What is that even?
That's annoying.
That's alright.
That means we already missed all 3 fire blasts, so we're not gonna miss any more.
True. It's 2.5, okay. So I was right when I said it was 2, kind of. Except you round up, I know, but like my memory was correct when it came to the first number. I don't know how probability works, sorry. I don't deal much with probability. But it's like 2, pretty much. Well,
We missed 3, so we're not gonna miss any more.
yeah, no, we physically cannot miss anymore now.
Statistically cannot miss anymore.
Remember, if it's not 100% accurate, it's 50% accurate.
Yeah, all moves are 50%.
That is way too much thinking,
Either
Randall.
you or you don't.
I don't want to have to set up a model for that. When I said I don't know how probability works, I was lying, but I'm just tired.
I would probably not run this game if you were required to catch the legendaries.
Yeah,
The catch rates on those are terrible.
yeah, I guess. It's not great. I know there were some like really, really old strats that were like, we're gonna catch Suicune.
I mean, Suicune is a very good poke.
Yeah, but you needed to get like a first ball and like a good Suicune for it to be actually fast or something like that.
So, AN rematch is the freest fight in the world.
If the other fights went well.
Yeah.
If you're really, really awkward HP, the fight can be kind of slow, but yeah, you're probably good here.
I mean, you already taught the old man a lesson once, and you just gotta do it again.
True.
So, the reason why this fight is free, that Rhydon looks scary, but the only offensive move it has is Dig. And it will only target Typhlosion with Dig, which makes
Yeah.
it a sitting duck. It doesn't do anything, so we can just bully all of his teammates.
Yep, because it has, you just protect when it takes you. It's very, very free. This fight can only be annoying when Typhlosion is very high HP. Like if you died on Venus, for example.
Yeah,
Even
if
then,
the
even though there are
Crobat-
strats for it, it's just slower.
Yeah, if the Crobat isn't set to kill Typhlosion with Fly, it might protect. The Rhydon will almost always use Dig, regardless. Oh, this is called... But the Crobat protecting is just annoying.
But yeah, everything just kind of dies here, while Rhydon just sits there and watches. And yeah, here's a Raikou. Again, not scary because it's level 40.
If you have a runnable hidden power on Typhlosion, you can kill the Rhydon a little early. If your Typhlosion is very low HP, the Raikou might use Quick Attack to kill it, but that's really the only variance you have to worry about on this fight.
Yep. Runnable hidden power is also very niche. There aren't that many ties. Like, usually you need pretty high base power, and you need...
Yeah.
and you need,
Very specific types. There are
Yeah.
only 2 runnable hidden powers, Grass, Water, and...
ice, kind of. And you need good base powers for them, which require specific IV spreads. It's just, like, very, very hard.
It's very rare that you get them.
I've pretty much never had it, just on a couple of occasions, and those runs haven't even finished, so...
I finished 1 run with Hidden Power Grass.
So yeah, that's all for admins beaten. It went pretty well, you can't complain about those fights.
For sure.
The Venus was a little scary, but it went well. We hit
You didn't
their-
miss too many
Right.
fire blasts.
Yeah. It wasn't the worst.
Yeah, just don't miss your surfs and you're fine.
Yeah, I think Shen's Shen's PBS HP water, and I also thinks it gets the level 49 Flygon range. Shen is just a god gamer.
Yeah. Just get lucky, no problem. Hold my beer.
Yeah. So this fight coming up here is very free. So there's not much to talk about on this one. You kind of just kill things. Very, very straightforward.
We can start talking about Quest and why we manip an Espeon with obscenely high defense. It's only because of the upcoming fight.
Yeah, so it kind of sucks. There's a fight coming up here called Class. You don't like seeing it.
If you take a mild Espeon, you need at least a 20 in your defense.
Yeah. Don't take mild Espeons.
Yeah, that's your answer. Just don't.
This is a very much an HP minute fight. You want to be either dead to one of these, one of the pokes coming up, a Nuzleaf and a Graveler, or you want to be dead to neither. For Espeon, to be dead to neither. Because if it's only dead to one, the fight is kind of slow. They both explode on you, which is always fun. So yeah, that's pretty much how Quest goes. You'll see when we get there. But I'm not sure about Espeon's defenses, but they should be fine, right?
No, we have guaranteed case 1.
Okay, good. You're dead to both. Yeah, you're kind of low HP actually.
Maximum roll for self-destruct is 136.
Yep, nice. I didn't look at Espeon's HP, so...
If you take mild Espeons, you always want to enter this fight with Espeon not on full HP, so you are dead to both things. Because we have so much defense, I can just heal it to full and guarantee case 1. So there are 3 different things you can do based on the Pokemon, based on what he can kill. Case 1, he can't kill anything with explosion. Case 2, he kills both with both explosions. And case 2, he kills both Pokemon with Graveler, but not with
Nuzleaf. So Espeon doesn't die to Nuzleaf.
His Nuzleaf is just a problem.
This fight is a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
The world would be a better place if you didn't have to worry about this fight. The problem with things dying to explosion is this Graveler starts using Protect. And Protect makes fight slower.
Yep. So this fight is really simple if you get a good case, and kind of annoying if you don't get if you get a bad case. It saves a lot of time to get a good case on this fight.
Yeah, which is if you're just trying to run the game and trying to learn, you can take mild Espeons as long as they don't have very low defense. Because having a very low defense on Espeon bites you back in the ass really, really fast. But if you're aiming for good times, you cannot take mild Espeon specifically because of this fight.
Yep. And just because it's got so good odds of just losing you to run because of random crits that aren't really supposed to kill you, but that just end up killing you. So yeah, this is pretty much classed, and we're about to enter our final battle before...
Breakout is annoying.
This is about as good as your quest fight can go.
Yeah, this is straightforward case 1 closed.
Yep, there's only one lead we don't want on the upcoming fight, and that's Crawdon Hariyama. Because, so the next fight is Gonzap, which we saw a little bit of earlier when we blew up the Team Snag'em hideout. And the reason you don't want Hariyama and Crawdon to lead specifically is because you cannot KO both pokes with the 2 you have. All the other leads have one you can KO with Typhlosion and one you can KO with Espeon, but specifically Crawdon Hariyama can both only be killed by Espeon with Hidden Paragraph and Psychic respectively. Typhlosion Fire Blast does not kill Hariyama, it has Thick Fat, so it does absolutely nothing. So it's a bad lead, and you usually die to Hariyama. So yeah, let's just hope we don't get that lead, because that lead just complicates things a little bit.
I think all the leads are equally likely on Gonzap. I've just seen him use everything.
Yeah, there are that many uncommon leads on Gonzap. I've seen pretty much everything as well. But yeah, every lead's the same except for specifically Crawdon Hariyama, and even then there are strats around it. Again, just
Walker
obnoxious.
was evil all along.
Wow.
Whoa.
Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thunk?
Not me. So yeah, we're gonna go up here. Gonna go over to the other elevator, and then we're gonna talk about with Gomsep for about 2 years.
Yeah, he basically tells us that the snag machine was a ploy from Cypher. Cypher gave them the snag machine so they could steal Pokemon for them.
Yep.
And then we just blew a hole on their plans by blowing up the big snag machine and then stealing the portable one. I don't even know how they would snag Pokemon with that chonky thing.
I'm not sure either, but either way, we're just gonna crush Gomsep here and then move on.
I've had the bad combo at least once.
I've had it like a couple of times. It's fine. It's just bad.
It's not
anything
great.
That's not Hariyama Groudon to just kill the thing with the thing is weak to.
Yeah. So yeah, we got Pinsir Groudon here, so we just Flame Wheel Pinsir. And Psychic, or no, HP Groudon. Don't Psychic.
Yeah, we definitely don't Psychic the Dark type.
So yeah, but this fight, absolutely atrocious if you're not in Blaze. Just thought I'd put that out there.
No snags.
This fight is awful on no snags.
Awful.
It's extremely slow.
And you're eating earthquakes all the time.
Always love eating earthquakes. But here we kind of just like kill one thing every, like we kill both things every turn. Because it just lines up perfectly with grass types and water types and steel types and fighting types.
All things we really love seeing.
Yep. All things to die to one hit.
And this is also the last fight where we absolutely need Blaze too. After this, we don't really worry about Typhlosion's HP anymore. We only worry if it's alive or dead.
Yep, you can kill everything here with Fire Blast, but if you're not Blaze. But it's not fun.
Hitting Fire Blast.
Also using all those Fire Blasts when you hit the PC heal.
Fire Blast sounds kinda sus.
But it's like the strat if you don't have Blaze.
Alright. How is this fight with Croc?
A mess.
Oh. That's cool.
It's not the worst, but it's not the best because on Croc we run HP Electric Espeon.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not great. It's kind of just slow. So I'm gonna do a little menu here. We're gonna teach Earthquake. It's finally coming in handy for just a couple of fights. But yeah, go ahead, say what you're.
Yeah, there is one fight where we are guaranteed to use Earthquake, and 2 fights where maybe we use Earthquake. I almost forgot to put Meditite on slot 2.
That would have been bad. So yeah, we're gonna head into the gauntlet here for the final couple of fights of the round. So if you're ever gonna be in here, get in here now. This is meant to be here. We're gonna be finishing up in not too long. There's a little gauntlet here, and then a couple of more fights. Yeah, about 20 minutes or so, pretty much non-stop fights. So this is where your heart is really beating fast when you're on PB pace. You're super excited at this point.
Yeah, especially because the last 2 fights can go very poorly in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
The Croconon Notes document is 75 pages, and the last 25 are these last 5 fights.
Yeah, the Quilava ones are over
15 are
100.
just the final. The last 15 is just the final fight.
That pretty much like the Quill Notes, except
Yeah.
the Quill Notes are even longer.
Oh, yeah, so no Zangoose lead. I need to pay attention to. Wow, that's very much purified. Okay, just from running around.
Let's see if Traces pure power here.
No, synchronize, okay. So kill the meal tank.
So yeah, this Paragon needs to die if it traces Pure Power from Meditite, but since it didn't, it's traced Aspion's ability instead, it's fine. We can just let it live.
It usually goes to kill Meditite with Ice Beam? I think it's Ice Beam. Yeah, it's Ice Beam.
So yeah, that's pretty much the fight. It's pretty easy. This is why we put Meditite in slot 1.
We still need to hit a Fire Blast, like always.
Yep. You see on this fight and the upcoming admin fights or leader fights that will showcase to you truly why we put Meditite in slot 1. On the old strats, we actually used to put Plusle in slot 1, but Plusle gains experience, and gaining experience when you're that low level versus high level fights earns you a lot of levels, which is very slow. So to avoid that, we now use Meditite. There are more reasons why we use Meditite, but it's one of the reasons why we do it.
You're gonna see nice HP at least twice more. So don't lose hope.
So yeah, Meditite has a pretty good purification nature to be that purified by the time we got there, pretty much just from walking. It didn't even get sent out at any point before now either, so...
No, it wasn't.
That's just a nutty purified nature.
Mm-hmm.
So-
sure, though.
This fight is kind of obnoxious. You don't like this. Personally, I don't like this fight at all.
So this Absol is arranged to die to Fire Blast. If he led Mighty Anna, I wouldn't have to worry about it. But just get the range.
Yeah, with Sharpedo lead, it's very annoying. So we just hope to get this range, and we hope to hit and get the range. Fire Blast ranges are the most annoying, because you need to hit the Fire Blast and you need to get the range.
Get the range.
Yeah. Fun fact, the Evolution is actually holding a charcoal, which it holds when you capture it. So the fire moves are boosted even more, and a lot of these things are still ranges even with the charcoal, as you can see.
That was close though.
Yeah, it's okay.
From here it's fine, we can just kill this with Flame Wheel and keep Espion protected, and then the Mighty Anna dies next turn.
Yep. It's not the end of the world, it's just annoying.
The safe thing about this fight is Absol always opens with Swords Dance, so it always gives you a turn. In case bad things happen.
For sure. So the next fight after this one is probably the freest one out of all the Gauntlet fights here. It's an Earthquake Simulator, so... What's your attack?
10.
Okay, so... Okay, at least you hit level 50 though.
Yeah. We hit level 50 before.
So,
maybe.
there's an Earthquake range coming up here.
Last chance.
It's kind of bad on this attack. But we hit level 50, so there is some chance that you still get it.
What do the notes? What does the thingy say? Houndoom Earthquake. Oh, it doesn't exist. It's not on the spreadsheet. I thought it would be. Oh well.
So yeah, this is our range here with Earthquake on Houndoom. So hopefully we get it. It's not bad at all if you miss it. It's just like nice.
Yeah, it's nice if you hit it. If you miss it, it uses Howl and jobs to return, so it's really whatever.
Yeah, it's like you don't really care. It's just one of those things that's, oh yeah, I hit that range, that's good.
One turn fight.
Yeah, saving animations. So the circle always dies, of course, and then you hit a Macargo coming in here, and then you hopefully also kill the Houndoom.
The Macargo always dies even if you have no attack.
Yeah, you can be negative at like 0 IV and this McCargo dies. Just because
Hey!
easiest range of your life.
Easy game.
So yeah, but this McCargo is Earthquake is quite effective. The McCargo so it always dies here.
Alright, and first trainer only use normal, second trainer only use darks, third trainer uses fires, the last trainer only uses grass types.
Yeah, this one's
Also-
kind of annoying. So we have to do
Yeah,
the Fire
this
Blast
is the
here.
one, because one of the grass types is a Credili that doesn't die to anything, and the other one is a Cacturn, which is a dark type, so we can't just hit Mache and kill it with Psychic.
Yep. This fight is, again, it's not really a scary fight. It can just be slow.
Credili is by far the most common lead, and I have an extra X special, so I'm just gonna use it here.
Yeah. It's just like, why not?
Because using the extra X special here guarantees you kill the Credili, and you don't have to worry about it getting boosted from Ancient Power, which sucks.
I've never seen that, but
Kill everything. I'm using an X special on Typhlosion, don't do that. Wait. Oh fuck. I used the X special one.
it's fine. You're good. Just Fire Blast,
Yeah, just
Tropius.
Tropius.
So what you want to do is the X special on Typhlosion's turn here.
But muscle memory, because this is the one fight where you X special Espion and it's on slot 1 instead of slot 2.
Because they're in the opposite order because of the way we arranged things earlier on. With Metatite in slot 1. Hopefully no Ancient Power boost here.
Kill the Credili. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think it's Sludge Bombs?
It's sludge bombs. Then no one is in range to die to it. Unless it crits, and then, you know,
Just don't crit.
It doesn't fine. It's fine.
Yeah, this fight can not really go back.
Alright. Return the Vileplume, Flame Wheel the Cacturn. No, the Cacturn isn't a range, thankfully. The Vileplume can be. But Cacturn is a much more frail than Vileplume.
Absolutely. It's a lot more frail.
Alright. So, we're entering the final 2 fights.
Yep. So these fights take up a lot of the notes.
Not only because of all the different leads they can have, but also because of everything they can do and everything that can happen to you.
Yeah, they're really, really sketchy. So yeah, this is NASCAR. The first fight.
So NASCAR will always target offensive moves at Metatite until it dies. Walrun's that too. Which basically leaves us a free setup turn. Oh, Walrun's Zatu is the bad one. Coolio.
Of course, that's normal marathon luck.
Coolio.
Yeah, this is the best music of the game. But yeah, this is the bad lead. You don't like seeing this at all. It's not the end of the world still, but it's probably the worst thing you can see. So Metatite just dies here, guaranteed to die, even at high defense.
Very weak and Ice Beam.
Hopefully it doesn't freeze.
We have 2 waterfall. No, we aren't at 2 waterfall. So kill the Zatu. The wall run attracts.
Yep. So Sato dies to Psychic here. At +2. And then you hit the thing that comes in with Fire Blast. Which should be Gardevoir?
It's Dusclops.
Oh, it does collapse. Huh.
Crit though.
Oh, well that's useful. I guess it depends on what comes in here. If it's Blaziken, it's kind of awkward.
No, it's guard.
Okay. So yeah, well, right now, race attract. Because AI moment. Which is fine.
Specials. I don't think Typhlosion dies from this HP.
You're so specially tanky that you probably don't.
87 maximum with no X special. How much HP do I have?
Oh, that...
Typhlosion doesn't die if you don't believe he dies.
120. No, I think he's dead.
Yeah, I think he's at 2 then.
Just hit the Fire Blast. And just hit the next Fire Blast too.
Yeah, so you need to hit 2 Fire Blasts here, because Gardevoir doesn't die to Fire Blast plus Flame Wheel, sadly. Unless you get hit into Blaze.
Okay. That actually helped.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, now I can Psychic the Gardevoir and kill the Metagross.
Yeah. That's actually very good.
That Hyper Potion saved it!
You were probably okay as long as I hit the Fire Blast, but yeah. It's just like an AI quirk. Where the AI can do it. And then you just Psychic Gardevoir and Fire Blast Metagross.
And if this Fire Blast doesn't hit, the Metagross always opens Iron Defense, so...
Yep. This Metagross is not scary at all.
Yeah, this Metagross is not scary.
That's about as we take those as they come.
Yeah, for sure. That fight. That was an odd fight. You crit the incoming Dusclops. Gardevoir Hyper Potion.
Yeah.
X special on that turn. X special on that turn is common, but yeah.
We take those, absolutely. That was a fine NASCAR.
Yeah.
So I really don't want to see Scizor Slocking lead. No, Scizor Slowking lead. Like, really don't want to see Slowking Scizor.
Scizor, anything is bad.
Scizor anything is bad, honestly. But Slowking Scizor is the worst.
Oh yeah, it's the inconspicuous mayor that we met earlier. Who's
Oh
actually
no, the bad guy.
who's actually the big bad guy and the evil team leader of Cypher, and yeah, he's gonna crush us apparently. While NASCAR is just sobbing in the background.
I really don't want him to crush us.
Neither do I.
Match I'm Slowking is fine, I think.
What an incredible twist. Which I'm Slowking? Yeah. You take that. It's not Scizor. Anything with Scizor is bad.
Anything without Scizor is fine.
Yep.
A matchup which is Mache. How is Dr. Eggman from Sonic? He decided to try and invade another universe.
I love the song here, by the way. This is one of my favorite tracks from Call.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, this Slowking is gonna Psychic Meditite here, Meditite's gonna die, and we're gonna swap in a tie.
For Meditite.
Meditite fought well. And luckily we don't have to care about its defense because we didn't get a Scizor lead. So it's not gonna matter. Even if her defense was very high.
Turn 2 X attacks is pretty good.
Gives us a free turn here. Doesn't risk a crit from Slowking.
I really want to see Scissor now.
Yeah, that's the ideal time to see Scissor pretty much.
Nah. That's fine though, because if Slacking is on the field, Slowking just...
Well, skill swap.
Skill swap.
And then you kind of just kill Slacking here. Free.
Yeah, you guarantee the Slacking at +3. With +2, Slacking is a range. But with FN at +3, we just kill everything. The only thing we need Typhlosion for on this fight is Scissor.
But we really need Typhlosion
We
for Scissor.
really need Typhlosion for the Scissor.
So this Scissor, one of the primary reasons why the Scissor is bad. There are many reasons why it's kind of jank. Mostly because it's a steel type, but also because it has Silver Wind. And Silver Wind has a chance to boost every stat. It's like Ancient Power, but bug. And you really don't want that. A lot of the times you just lose if you get Silver Wind boost. So, and then you cry because it's the final fight of the game.
Because with the Silver Wind boost, Typhlosion isn't guaranteed to outspeed it anymore, and he always kills Espeon.
Yep.
You are also not guaranteed to even be able to kill it with Flame Wheel.
No, you have to protect Espeon and Fire Blast it and hope. Flame Wheel doesn't kill with Silver Wind boost. And then it also depends on what is out with Scissor. If it's Salamence, you just lose.
Throw the Great Ball. Throw the Great Ball. Do it.
Don't. And there we go. That is Evise. That is the final battle of the game.
So that's the final fight of the game. Time will be coming up in a minute.
Time comes up when Ho-Oh flies across the screen and the first black
frame.
First black frame, yeah.
Still some mashing to do until then. If you had said it a little earlier, I would have thrown the Great Ball, but I was already mashing.
So yeah, that has pretty much been the run.
It was an okay run. I did a few hiccups here and there, but the game was pretty kind, honestly.
Yeah.
There was nothing really majorly bad happening. I didn't have to load state anywhere, so I'm happy with that just alone. Other than having to load state because the Quilava and the Espeon were unrunnable.
Yeah, no, you definitely take it. I would say overall the run went very well. I can't think of any huge time losses.
Yeah,
it was just kind of the bad
bad
Firma.
The bad
Yeah.
Firma, the worst one. Alright, so that's time.
GG, Pharaoh.
I'm happy. So glad you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun being on for commentary. That was great.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. So yeah, I run the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy. I've been learning these games I've been running Call for what, a month and a half now, I think, maybe 2 months.
Yeah, you'll be crushing it.
What was the time?
3:47:31.
3:47. That's amazing. That's way better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, that was great. That's only what, 3 minutes behind PB?
My
Your PB is
console
3:44:51, I believe.
Yeah, my console PB is a 3:44. My emulator PB loaded states to be able to manip to hit the Espeon, so that's invalid, but it's a 3:39.
Nice. Very, very good.
Very good.
Either way, 3:47 is very good for a marathon run of this game. This game can be pretty much this game can be a little bit of a nightmare to run at a marathon. You can usually recover, but there are some aspects where you kind of just where it gets a little bit awkward, especially when you're not running an emulator and you have to save manual at the machines. But yeah, you definitely take
Yeah,
this
the
overall.
real big problem with the machines, if you die and you have to load the machine, you can lose anywhere between 2 to 5 or even 8 minutes, depending on where you died.
Yep. So we didn't have to do that gladly. I would say just GG. Very well done.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Try to learn Hundo for the really longathon in the end of the year, so maybe we'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye, chat. So